Sleepy town settled for the night, where every lawn is tailored just right. And it's about time that the back porch light comes on. At that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Street.
I'm about to get lit up.
Oh. Hurry, let me get my notes. My voice is tired.
Oh, we can make this like an AM radio style whisper ASMR.
Let's just whisper the entire episode.
Do you remember? It's been on TikTok. Delilah.
Yeah, did you get my message? My friend used to work for her.
Oh yeah. Her voice is just, it triggers something in the nostalgic brain in all of us from the 90s.
Yeah.
She's great. She's great.
Romantic advice.
Wherever you are right now, just close your eyes. Take a beat and be with us tonight.
And then followed by some like
Alanis Morissette.
90 I was gonna say 90s jazz music or some shit.
Oh, I was thinking the other TikTok you sent me of "You Oughta Know."
Oh, and it's like bubbling up inside of her and she like can't contain herself any longer. And her husband's just like, just get it out of your system. That's me. Good times.
I'm Kristina.
I'm Justina. Hi guys, welcome to Magnolia Street Podcast, your one and only music wow. It just had an aneurysm. Your one and only musically inspired practical magic fandom podcast.
Yeah, every week we deep dive on different aspects of the movie and the books, as well as treat your ears to our very own practical magic inspired original music.
Yeah, this week we're bringing you another installment of our Witch's Garden series. In honor of the changing of the season, most of us are gearing up for a bit of spring cleaning. If you haven't started already. I know I've started already. I'm already mentally, I'm in spring mode. We're still deep in the heart of winter here and I'm over it. So I'm just like mentally, I'm trying to just prep my brain for the spring.
Totally.
And, just get a head start on all that. Because I know once it gets warm out, I'm not going to want to be inside cleaning. I want to be outside. So we thought we'd talk about some natural ways to physically clean and spiritually cleanse your home. The Owens family garden is a huge character in the Practical Magic movie and throughout all 4 books. And because of its magnitude, we are actually continuing this series that we started back in 2023. Our first installment of the Witch's Garden series was episode 23, where we break down all the basics involving planning and starting your own witchy garden. And some of the things we covered in that episode are the following. So our own personal gardens, gardening basics, creating a sacred garden space, incorporating the elements, constructing a sacred altar, witchy garden themes, gardening by the moon, talking to your plants, charging your water with the moon, and then some tech apps and games you can incorporate.
Yeah, I popped this episode on, I don't know, it was probably around Christmas. I was like, I just need to feel warm and like productive.
Yep.
And I was like, we have to do another installment of this. And I was just thinking this episode was so fun, just talking about like the themes for the gardens was really cool.
Yeah.
And like learning about talking to your plants. Actually, it helps them. They're happy when you talk to them.
Isn't there a study? Like there's like an apple study, right? Like you take 2 apples, and I think we've probably talked about this before. You take 2 apples and you talk to one in a really positive way and like compliment it. And I don't know how long, maybe for like a week, 2 weeks. I don't know how long this experiment is, but then you take the other apple and you just degrade it. You just demean it. You just talk shit to it.
Oh my goodness.
You're a piece of shit apple. And then the one that you talk negatively to actually rots a lot faster. So it's an experiment in intention and how your words hold so much weight.
And that can be your own internalized thought processes too. Because I'm like, the negative talk in me is, I'm really mean to myself.
Oh, we all are our own worst critics, right? It's so bad.
Don't make yourself rot faster than you need to, I guess.
There's a new slang going around on the TikToks. It's called rotting. Have you heard of rotting?
No.
Okay, so basically rotting is just like, when you're just being lazy and you're being unproductive, you don't want to get shit done. So you're just like, I'm just gonna rot today. So you just that's the new term, is like when you're laying on the couch not doing anything, it's just like, I just want to rot.
I'm okay with that one.
That's been my and Navi's phrase. So like when he gets home from work and he's just like had a shit day or whatever, he's like, I just want to rot. He just grabs a bag of chips and lays on the couch. I'm like, all right,
I
I'll rot
like
with
that.
you. And there's another TikTok of a cat, or it's like behind every rotting girl is a rotting cat, and then it pans to the cat in bed with the girl.
Oh,
I'm like,
babies.
that's me.
Yeah, so we wanted to also encourage you to go and check out our Black Soap episode, which was episode 18, where we got to interview artisan Laura Den Hertog and learn all about her process for making black soap, which was inspired by the Owens recipe. Since we're talking about cleansing and cleaning, if you want it, this is like a staple. I threw in one or two things about the soap because this has its own episode. So go back and check that out too.
Yeah, so as far as our beloved movie goes, we're going to talk a little bit about how, I guess, cleansing, cleaning comes up in certain areas of the film. We do see a little bit when Sally is opening up her shop, and right, she's prepping to open her shop doors. Then there's also where the scene where Carla and Linda are wiping down the bottles and helping to set up the Verbena Apothecary shop. But most of the cleansing, spiritual or otherwise, actually takes place in the pre-exorcism scene in that little montage, like, you know, when they're taking all the stuff off the mantle, they're taking the picture frames down, they're like dusting stuff,
Yes.
they're moving frogs and toads
Yes.
back out into the garden.
Cleaning montage.
Cleaning montage. I love a good cleaning montage.
Me too.
Yeah, that all goes down in the Owens household prior to prepare for saving Jillian from Jimmy's spirit. But again, the garden itself is the main character. So as far as cleaning or cleansing goes, the one scene that sticks out in my mind is at the very end of the film, after Jimmy's spirit had been dissolved by our trusty Lime and Lie solution, and Gary sends the letter absolving the Owen sisters of their crimes. So we see Sally in the garden, burning brambles in a big bonfire. And she's literally cleansing this space of all that stank-ass toad energy that has been residing there over the past few months. And Gary sends back the ring in his letter, which Sally then throws into the fire. Now, that ring is obviously metal, and yeah, maybe it's going to tarnish a little bit, but ultimately we know that that ring is not going to break down or decompose as a result of being thrown into the fire. However, let's look at it from more of a symbolic standpoint. Obviously, they did that to just get rid of it for good, that whole aura and the whole energy that's surrounding that garden.
It's burning your ex's stuff.
Right.
Right.
And it's closure. That letter absolving them of the crime was closure. And sending the ring back, even though it was tampering with evidence still, is closure. Throwing that ring into the fire, letting that fire touch that ring in of itself.
Fire is cleansing, right?
Is cleansing. Yes. Exactly. I feel like fire is so often overlooked as a method of cleansing. To your everyday muggle anyway, right? Us witches know that we've been throwing stuff into or over a fire to cleanse its aura as far back as the ancient times.
Even jumping over fires, right?
Right. Yeah. I think like what is it, Beltane, or like there's a couple fire festivals on the wheel of the year that fire is a big part of the whole celebration. Throwing shit into the fire has to be the most spiritually cleansing thing ever. And come the spring, we always think about the physical cleansing and what can I get rid of that's crowding my personal space. But I truly believe that physical clutter equals mental clutter and vice versa. So if my living space is a shit show, I can't think straight and none of my creative projects are getting done.
You have organized clutter. You have specifically, intentionally placed clutter because you're a maximalist.
Yes. Like I just, look, I cleared that corner and it's already got more shit on it to be sorted through because I went through my closet and now my closet's clean, but now all the shit that I took out of my closet, I put in here because when it's in here, I actually deal with it. And there's still more shit on my floor from my birthday of like all the stuff that people, you know, gave me. And I'm like, I don't even know what to do with all this shit. Next year, nobody get me any fucking thing. I swear.
It's all going to be burned in a fire.
Exactly. So on the flip side, if I'm balls deep in a creative project and I have a million to-dos running through my brain, my physical space suffers as a result because I'm neglecting my physical space now because I'm so like in a creative flow, you know? So it's really finding that balance. But if we started to make the connection between spiritual, that's a new word. Spiritual and the physical, not only cleanse your space to prep for the spring ahead, but cleanse your spirit as well. especially if you live in the colder climates and are coming out of a harsh winter with a lot of snow or a deep frost. That shit is mentally taxing. Like, I know I'm going through my own winter blues right now. Seasonal depression is so real. So the only thing that gets most of us through that dark winter is the promise of the warmer days ahead. So incorporating a burning ritual into your spring cleaning could be a really healing and therapeutic way to lift the weight of winter off our shoulders. And I'm not even talking like burning papers or bullshit you don't need. I'm talking like making a ritual out of saying goodbye to the winter. Light that bonfire, write down your feelings, the mental clutter that's, your intentions, all the stuff that's like bubbling up inside of you all winter long, all your plans for the spring coming ahead. You just want to get out all of that gunk before you can clean the slate and move on and, start, I guess, mentally throwing yourself into spring. So, like, write all that bullshit on a piece of paper, roll it up, throw it into fire, symbolically cleanse your soul before welcoming in the spring. So spring cleaning for me personally is finding that connection between the physical and the spiritual, and really finding a way to cleanse both so that you can fully arrive in the spring just feeling refreshed and like a big weight has been lifted off you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, even though it's like warming up pretty good, I don't feel like I'm in the spring cleaning mindset until I can open the windows and let all that filter through and just get that stank ass energy out. It's getting warmer, but like that's when I know, okay, time to really like look at the fan, clean the fan, get the baseboards, do all those like little detail things that kind of get pushed aside.
Oh yeah.
But even in here in the studio, I'm like, I can't do shit if my studio is a mess. Can't do anything in the kitchen. I'm not gonna start cooking with a pile of dishes in the sink.
Right. Yep.
So it feels like that with springtime.
100%. I've actually been trying to, like, it's not warm enough by any stretch to start opening up the windows yet. It's still like 30 degrees here and there's still snow on the freaking ground. But I'm trying to get ahead of like the physical clutter so that come the spring when it is warm enough to open the windows, then I can really, do the witchy rituals surrounding the spring, like doing the baseboards and the doorways and like the cobwebs and all that stuff. But right now, like, I just went through my closet. I got rid of like 6 bags of like clothing donation that we just chucked off at the recycling center. Like going through bills, going through papers, going through crevices where stuff accumulates under the bathroom sink cabinet, in the hallway closet. Like downstairs, our pantry was a shit show. We just like, when you buy in bulk, you get the box and you dump the box off. And so there's different boxes stacked on top of boxes. You don't even know what the fuck you have down there.
Aaron and I actually keep like a notepad, 3 different notepads that we share. Upstairs freezer, downstairs freezer, and downstairs shelves. Inventory, but it only works if you use motherfuckers update the inventory, because now we have multiple peanut butters that we don't need.
Dude, I just fucking did that. I just fucking did that. So
it feels so good.
It really does. So like, yeah, when I went through all the boxes downstairs, I like our pantry downstairs, now it looks like a legit like grocery store. Like the stuff organized on a shelf. It's beautiful. So in the spring, I can actually enjoy, spending time outside without feeling guilty because the inside is a shit show,
shit to do. Let's talk about the books a little bit. We'll start with Magic Lessons. So in Magic Lessons, page 24, it says, Hannah placed her faith in washing her hands with clean water and her strong black soap before any examination. And because of this, she lost far fewer patients. This harkens back to the black soap recipe. Go check that one out. This next one as well, page 24. She made her own black soap every March, enough to last the year long, burning wood from rowans and hazelwoods for the ashes that would form her lye, using licorice-infused oil, honey, and clove, adding dried lavender for luck and rosemary for remembrance. Ladles of liquid soap were poured into wooden molds, where they hardened into bars. Maria had written down the recipe in her grimoire, for this soap was most often asked for by the women from town. They said a woman grew younger each time she used it. If she had sorrows, the soap washed them away. If there was an illness in the house, it would not spread, for the herbs in the soap defeated fevers and chills. Pages 44 to 45, it says, this is more of a metaphysical cleansing, like a superstitious practice, I guess. It says, place 2 eggs under the bed to cleanse the atmosphere, destroy afterward. Do not eat, or you will swallow bad fortune. Page 68. Maria combed the Jensen daughters' hair, washed it with rum to keep it strong, and stitched their wedding dresses. Oh, these are the two Curacao daughters?
Oh, yeah.
She learned that eggs would keep well in lime water, that quicksilver beaten into egg whites could poison bed bugs, that lamp wicks would not smell bad if the cotton wick yarn was rinsed with vinegar, then dried in fresh air. She was taught to shake carpets rather than sweep them. I think about that line a lot.
Yeah.
Because I have to sweep carpets all the time, and I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Right.
But they're too big to take out and shake.
Yeah.
But I think about that line quite often.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if you're sweeping a carpet, you're just moving the dirt around, right? You're not really cleaning anything.
Well, I think they're like a vintage rug, so they're too delicate to vacuum.
Okay.
But they're too big to pick up and shake, so I have to sweep the dust off of them and then vacuum it off the hardwood floor.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess that works.
So rather than sweep them, and to wash silk dresses in green tea to restore their shine. During the day, she kept her eyes lowered and kept her mind on the task at hand. At night, however, she did as she pleased. After Mr. and Mrs. Jensen? Mr. and Mrs. Jensen went to sleep on their sheets. She and Junie had washed with a harsh soap compound of lye and ashes. Before they were hung out to dry in the garden to ensure that the fabric would smell sweet, scented by fresh air and the clouds of fragrance rising from the flower beds. Oh, that's nice.
Aww.
Page 73. The old woman shook her head and clucked her tongue. Sure of herself. She's a witch. Stay away from her. Junie laughed, equally sure of herself. Would she clean the Jensen's house if she were a witch? Would she see to their laundry and draw their baths? No witch would do that. 76. Everything might have been different if she hadn't walked into the dining room at 9 in the morning, a room she entered every day to polish the silver, which she did wearing heavy cotton gloves, and sweep away the red dust that filtered inside, even when the wood shutters were closed. Page 93. Maria made Hannah's black soap when the moon was waning, adding local ingredients, aloe vera and hibiscus. It was a hot night and Maria was burning up, using the largest iron pot in the house. The soap was so fragrant, bees awoke, birds sang at an hour when they should have been silent, and fussy babies suddenly slept through the night. When she was done making the soap, she fell into her bed and didn't wake for 18 hours.
Have you ever cleaned so hard that you're like, your back and you're just like, you're so fucking sore and your feet hurt and like, oh my God.
I felt kind of like, I wasn't cleaning, but like after I got home from Sam's Club, because we buy like the meat in bulk and then I like kind of process it down into almost like meal prepping.
Yeah.
It took like 3 hours for me to do everything that I was needing to do. I was like,
a lot of work.
122 to 123. There are those who must set 2 eggs, never to be eaten, beneath their beds to clean a tainted atmosphere, and those who were to use black mustard seed to repel nightmares. Those who were told to use vinegar for husbands who could not perform in bed and were told to feed their men chestnuts and oysters to inflame desire. Those who asked for be true to me tea for straying husbands. And lastly, on 159, tonight she would bathe with salt and vinegar to cleanse herself, yikes, and ensure that evil thoughts could not cling to her. Maybe like a salt scrub?
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't want to be a salty chip.
I don't want to be. Yeah, I was just going to say, that sounds like, that just reminds me of potato chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only a few mentions in Rules of Magic regarding cleaning anyway. So on page 22, the house was enormous with 3 floors. All the rooms had heavy draperies to keep out the sun, and despite the dust motes in the air, all contained gleaming woodwork. On page 26, 2 eggs, which must never be eaten, set under a bed to clean a tainted atmosphere, vinegar as a cleansing bath, garlic, salt, and rosemary, the ancient spell to cast away evil. So I guess those are more natural remedies to cleanse your space. And I guess more of like folk magic. On page 287, he, talking about Vincent, transported himself to that moment and he stayed there in California. He no longer smelled the Lysol the janitors used to clean the floor, but rather there was the woodland scent of eucalyptus so fragrant it made him dizzy.
I love
You know what we've been doing? We've been putting the eucalyptus in the shower. Like you get like the dried eucalyptus from like Trader Joe's or something and just putting it in the shower. I don't really smell it that much.
I don't either.
It looks pretty though.
It does look really pretty. I have like a little eucalyptus plant that I've been trying to keep alive.
Yeah.
And I had to trim it because it was not doing so good. And I put it in the shower. I was like, this is going to smell great. I'm like,
Nothing.
I can't really smell anything.
Yeah. Avi was like, I smell it a little bit. And I don't know, maybe it's just because he's taller than me.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I don't smell it from down where I am in the shower. It looks very pretty.
It does. I love a eucalyptus bundle. Aaron was like, "Can we get rid of this?" Because he was trying to
Really?
clean the shower. Yeah, throw it away.
Yeah, we just
But you have to get
replaced
real up
ours.
close,
Yeah.
even to the fresh stuff.
Yeah, so like I see people over like social media do it and they're like, this is a great way to
Like cleanse
um
your lungs,
cleanse
like
your lungs. Yeah, I'm
relief
like,
your sinuses.
but I don't smell anything.
I
I don't
don't
know.
either.
I don't know.
Maybe it's like the like a gene, you know, how only some people when they eat asparagus, their
Or
pee smells.
cilantro.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Page 353. She, talking about Regina, didn't believe in drudgery or boredom and had a trick so that the broom swept all by itself when she cleaned the house.
Only two from Practical Magic that we pulled out was page 31. Sometimes it took close to an hour for her to choose between cleaners. What do you think? What's the best for kitchen floor? She'd ask the clerk, a good-looking young man who was so confused by the question he'd simply point to the Lysol. The next one, I didn't write the page down, but the sentiment about the woodwork never be needing to be polished came up a lot, like
Oh,
at least three times in Practical Magic. So it
okay.
says, no matter how dusty the rest of the house might be, none of the woodwork ever needed polishing. If you squinted, you could see your reflection right there in the wainscoting in the dining room or the banister you held onto as you ran up the stairs. It was dark in every room, even at noon, and cool all through the heat of July. We had a
Cool.
debate, like, we were like, nobody's cleaning that house, right?
No.
Like, it's dust, there's dust motes flying around, but the woodwork, immaculate.
It must be that magnolia tree or what all the that array of different wood and trees that what
Mm.
Samuel brought back from all his travels. So then we get into the last book. This is Book of Magic, and there's only like what, three mentions here. So page 31, it says, on the sixth day, the aunts fell silent in a haze of disbelief. The future was less than 48 hours away. Still, no one had ever called them lazy, and they made good use of their time, setting about cleaning the house, which frankly had not been seen to for some time. So that confirms our theory, Kristina. So that the woodwork and drapes were dusty and the carpets had to be taken out to the porch and beaten with a broom. It was traditional to do so after a death, to prepare for the mourners and clear out anything the deceased might wish to keep private. But knowing what they knew, they had the opportunity to complete the task together before the funeral. And this is when Jet predicted her own death, right? So she knew she was going
Mhm.
to die, so they were preparing ahead of time. They covered the mirrors and opened the windows to let in the fresh air. Sparrows were nesting in the shrubbery, and buds had appeared on the magnolias that lined the street. The sisters packed up Jet's clothing and her collection of novels, along with the batch of letters Levi had sent her when she was a girl, mostly concerning how they might manage to meet without the Reverend catching on. There was another correspondence that Jet treasured, letters tied up with a blue ribbon. These were Raphael's. She gazed at them on the brink of tears. His, Franny said. She never questioned Jet about her love life. Still, she'd been curious. Jet nodded. She thought about what might have happened if Raphael hadn't taken the part-time job as a bellman while he was going to college. Life is luck. That it is, Franny agreed. When they were through with the house and the woodwork shone and the cobwebs were all swept away with the broom, they had a picnic lunch that included splurging on all of their favorite childhood foods, which were too rich for them now.
That sounds
And
awesome.
yeah, and then the last mention is on page 54. Jet had slipped, allowing that Raphael was her true love. Then, in a panic that she might have activated the curse, she had mixed up a concoction of vinegar and lemon juice, which she drank down in gulps to cleanse her confession. It's kind of like the other, was it April that was bathing in salt and vinegar, or somebody was bathing in salt and vinegar? Raphael had listened in disbelief when she first told him that her family had been cursed. All the same, he'd agreed to do his best to trick the hex, a lifetime of love kept secret.
I made a hot toddy the other night because my throat was kind of like, I love a hot toddy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a little too much whiskey or a little too much lemon, but like I'd take a sip and the bottom of my eyes felt like it was about to blow up. My eyes were like, it was so pungent. I don't know. My under my sinuses was exploding.
Oh my God.
It's intense.
Holy shit.
Do you like hot toddies?
I do,
Yeah.
but like, you know when you drink like anything alcoholic that's hot, it does have like that little extra like burn, or like when you go to take a sip, that fume just like goes up your nose and you're like,
Probably
holy
that.
shit. It does wake you up.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. It's like the vapors. It's in the vapors.
It's probably because like when alcohol is heated to a certain temperature, it actually kills the alcohol. So that's probably just the water killing the alcohol. Rendering the drink completely pointless.
Oh, it tasted pretty good. So, spring is hugely important to our ancestors. The Romans celebrated Flora, goddess of flowers, and the Greeks worshipped Persephone, returning to the underworld. Days have been getting longer since the winter solstice on the 21st of December, which it doesn't feel like. And I try to remind myself every year, like, this is the light half of the year, even though it's the end of December and it doesn't feel like it. We are gaining a little bit of sunlight every single day. I wanted to talk about this book by Karen Siegel-Meyer called The Naturally Clean Home. It's really cute. It's very small. I think somebody gifted this to me. Yeah. I think when I moved to California, it was like a housewarming gift. I was like, that's really sweet. But it has a ton of really good information that we're going to pull from today. And some of the chapters, I guess, or contents in this book, they cover the kitchen, the bath, the laundry, wood care, cleaning, how to clean metals, walls and carpets, clearing the air, garages, basements, gardens, landscapes, and the home office. But let's start off with why you might want to clean with herbs at all, because again, this is our Witch's Garden series. This is stuff you can grow at your own space, even a windowsill. Nearly everyone has heard about the virtues of common issues such as baking soda and vinegar for cleaning jobs like scoring and absorbing grease. The addition of herbal materials, especially essential oils, to the formula serves to enhance its cleaning value, with the added benefit of leaving behind a soothing, natural scent. In effect, the principles of sanitary hygiene and aromatherapy become partners. It's not by advertising gimmick that many commercial products contain citrus oils such as lemon or lime. They are natural degreasers and have antimicrobial properties. In fact, citrus oils are the workhorse of the kitchen and bathroom. Many other herbs possess antibacterial and antifungal qualities as well.
Wait, you know what? You know what's just like in my brain as you're like reading this?
What?
Fucking what's her fucking name? Linda Bennett.
Yes!
Let's clean house!
Yes! The Lysol lady!
The Lysol lady! That's actually not the Lysol lady.
Exactly!
That never even happened.
That's so funny. Good connection.
We need a soundbite.
House. That is perfect tagline.
We need a soundbite to just sound off like at random times throughout this episode.
Let's clean house.
Oh my god. You can believe me when I tell you that using a natural herbal product instead of a chemically laden commercial one makes household tasks almost a pleasure to tackle. I know it's hard to get excited about cleaning a bathroom, but when you realize that the surfaces are germ and toxin free and the soothing aroma of cedar or lavender lingers, you won't be able to suppress a smile of satisfaction.
Unpopular opinion, I actually like cleaning my bathroom. I really like cleaning my bathroom. I just like the process of it.
Let's talk about this. Let's unpack this.
I just like it's cleansing. I just enjoy wiping down the surfaces and saying goodbye to the poopy stains in the toilet. Avi, thank you. I might be guilty as well. But I just like cleaning my bathroom, and I like refreshing the space, and it just feels good just getting all that gunk off the surfaces. And you know what I did recently? We get these like toothbrushes with the disposable tops, like the electric ones. Every month we get a new one. So the old one, I took off my old one and I was like, I'm not throwing this out. I'm going to use this to clean.
Oh, there you go.
I actually went in my bathtub with a flashlight because it's dark and like we don't have a window in our bathroom, so it's hard to see some of the dirt sometimes. So I went in my bathtub with a flashlight to actually look at some of the gunk caked on the side of the tub. I wasn't getting with a normal
scrub.
A scrub, yeah. So I'm like looking, I'm like, oh my god, this is disgusting. So I sat there for fucking half an hour and I, spray with my little Myers cleaner thing. And I also have the scrubbing bubbles. And I had my phone, my flashlight right above my head with my little scrubby toothbrush. And I got all that little gunk off around the entire tub is spotless. And that night I took a bath and I was like, okay, I deserve this bath
You're a
because
changed woman.
I earned this clean bath.
I should get you a black light, like a flashlight.
Oh God, I don't know. I don't want to see half the shit that's,
I know.
especially with the cats.
Because my job is cleaning, right? And I was like, I feel like I'm missing stuff.
Right.
So I got a black light, and like even just like around, nobody thinks of the baseboards like around the toilet. Like, how often, when was the last, well, you probably clean it more often. I clean them.
I do the whole shebang.
Yeah. But where did it leave off? Save time and money by making your own herbal cleaning products is not a time-consuming or expensive endeavor. In fact, quite the opposite is true. It only takes a minute or two to fill a spray bottle with vinegar and water and add a few drops of essential oil.
Let's clean house.
Instant glass and appliance cleaner. Having done that, there's one less aisle to visit in the supermarket. The majority of chemical cleaners are quite expensive. A typical spray foam cleaner for the bathroom, for instance, can deprive you of like $4 here in the States or more. An herbal alternative, on the other hand, cost mere pennies to make. They say I buy pure essential oils for an average of $3 per half fluid ounce. Since I'm only using between 5 and 30 drops of oil, depending on the particular formula, that half-ounce bottle goes a very long way indeed. Other all-natural ingredients such as vinegar, baking soda, water, and castile soap are also inexpensive.
Talking about the natural cleaners, I like them. I've used them before, but they're not my favorite because they don't lather. And to me, when I don't see a lather, I just feel like it's just... I don't know. I know the vinegar does work and the baking soda does work and all that natural stuff, the essential oils, great. But I love me, this is not an ad. I'm not getting paid to say this. Sponsored. I love Meyer's cleaning sprays.
Yeah.
I love those.
I think hands down. There are worse options than Meyer's. I think Meyer's is on the more like naturally conservative side.
Right. That's why I'm saying, like, if I'm going to use anything that's more natural, I would like to go for the Meyer's. Because at least the Meyer's, like, it lathers a little bit. It's more on the soapy side. So I do tend to go for the Meyer's rather than just, like, your standard, like, vinegar mixture or whatever. But the only thing is they are a little pricey. So I get where, the difference is there. But I just love how they come in all different scents, especially like they change their scents for the season. And I'm very seasonal, so
I like that too.
I like for the winter I got like a nice pine scent, and like there was a candy cane scent that like makes my kitchen counter smell so nice and fresh, like wintry fresh.
I like that.
And I can't wait for the spring scents to come out. I just like smelling like the seasons.
Unclutter your cleaning closet. You may also marvel at the amount of uncluttered space that becomes available in the area where you normally store cleaning supplies. According to Deborah Lynn Dadd, author of Non-Toxic and Natural, the average kitchen is home to 30 or more commercial products. The laundry room has like 6. Many of the herbal formulas you will be making will be multi-purpose, so the number of cleaning products you store will greatly reduce. An immense help to those of us with only a little bit of space under the sink or in the closet. Creative packaging is another reason they put forth. Why shouldn't the containers used to store your herbal cleaners be as pleasant as their contents? In this area, you can really exercise the concept of recycling materials. Remember those commercial products you finished up on your way to non-toxic cleaning? Many of those containers can be washed and used countless number of times for your herbal formulas. Coffee tins with plastic lids are great for storing car and wood polishes. Those large plastic containers with sprinkle type tops you get when you purchase dried herbs and spice in bulk are excellent powdered cleansers. Glass containers work well too, of course, but you may want to stick to the plastic if safety is a concern, especially if you have little helpers using them. I would migrate to glass first as someone without kids. Glass would be my first thing.
Right. They do say that putting essential oils into plastic containers is no bueno because it actually breaks down the petrochemicals in the oils. It's not ideal to store any kind of cleaning products containing essential oils in a plastic bottle.
Maybe if you're getting the Home Depot like chemical grade plastic ones, but still
maybe.
So the formula in this book suggests combinations of dried herbs and essential oils. Herb substitutions are encouraged when necessary. For the most part, essential oils are suitable for all-purpose cleaning, floor and furniture care, and laundry needs. Strong tinctures can be used in place of essential oils in some formulas if necessary, but their cleaning power will be less effective if used in laundry recipes or those intended for antibacterial. For obvious reasons, dried herbal material won't do for these tasks, but are excellent for other jobs such as scoring tubs, there you go, and sinks, and for use in carpet fresheners. If you are fortunate enough to be able to grow your own herbs, we'll talk more about shortly, you already have a supply of herbal material on hand to dry for making scoring powders, sachets, carpet fresheners. The dried flowers and leaves of many herbs such as rosemary, sage, lavender, mint, and lemon balm are suitable for these products. Most herbs are quite handy, easy to grow, and add beauty to any lawn or garden. And let's not forget the contribution they make to meals and pollinators.
You will need to dry the herbs before using them in cleaning formulas. The concentration of essential oils is highest just before and during flowering. So you want to leave at least 1/3 of each perennial in the garden to ensure it's returning the following season. So here's a little bit on how to make a starter kit. So if you're just starting out and you don't have any essential oils, here's a list of essentials that will be easy on your budget and that you can always add to later on. So some of them are citronella, which also keeps mosquitoes and bugs at bay, which is really nice. There's also citrus, any kind of citrus, lemon, lime, or sweet orange. There's tea tree, also known as melaleuca. Wintergreen. Take extra care when handling wintergreen. The herbs that are most helpful to have on hand are basil, lavender, lemon balm, mint, oregano, rosemary, sage, and thyme. And I also like to have some rose. I love adding rose to any of my home, I guess, cleaning rituals. So some herbs and their beneficial properties. Many herbs have antibiotic, antiviral, antiseptic, and antifungal properties. The following list is not complete by any means, but it represents the most common herbs that are grown in home gardens and that are easily available in dried or essential oil form. So the following herbs are bay, I guess like a bay leaf, bay laurel, is antibacterial. Bergamot is antibiotic. Camphor is antibacterial. Cardamom, antibacterial. Chamomile, antibiotic and antibacterial. Cinnamon is antiviral. Citronella, antibacterial. Clove, antibiotic and antiviral. Cypress, antibacterial. Eucalyptus, antibiotic, antifungal, antiviral, and antibacterial. So that seems like, even though me and Kristina can't smell the eucalyptus, it seems like it packs a big punch there.
Yeah.
Also, the other two that can be lumped into the eucalyptus category that kind of cover all those bases are lavender and lemon. So that trifecta, I guess, if you combine those three,
that is a great cleanser.
Yeah, ain't no germs getting through there. Then we have ginger, which is antibacterial. Hyssop, antifungal, antibacterial. Juniper, antifungal, antibacterial. Lemongrass, antibacterial. I like the smell of lemongrass.
I do too.
But it's got a little bit of I don't know, it's like, it's got a weird smell, but it's like a good weird smell. I don't know how to explain it. Lemon verbena. Okay, so the following are just antibacterial. So lemon verbena, marjoram, orange, rosemary, spearmint, and vervain. So then we have antibiotic. Lime is antibiotic and an antibacterial. Myrtle is also antibiotic, but it's antifungal. Nutmeg, antibiotic. What else we got? Do we say oregano? Antibiotic, antiviral. Patchouli, antibiotic, antifungal. Pine, antibiotic, antibacterial. Savory? What is savory?
I don't know. I've never used it.
I've never even heard of that. Okay. Antifungal. Tea tree, antibiotic, antifungal, antiviral, and antibacterial. So add that in with your lemon, lavender, eucalyptus. That's great for everything. Thyme, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. And wintergreen is antibacterial. I don't know why it keeps saying to take extra care when handling.
I didn't look into it. I guess I could really quick while you're reading, but this is a little like spreadsheet chart. So it'll be included in our notes if you want to take a look at it.
I know that wintergreen can be used as a substitute for like a painkiller, like in Advil or aspirin or something of the sort. So maybe it, be careful that it doesn't get into your bloodstream because it has those kind of effects. I'm guessing. I don't know the reason for that. And then I think, did I say sage? Antifungal, antibacterial. I like incorporating essential oils into my cleaning, and they just smell so good. And if you don't clean with them, And if you don't have like little pets or kids running around, you know, that they can harm, and I guess do your research and see which ones aren't harmful, you can also just diffuse them in the air. You could just get a diffuser and diffuse any of those oils if you don't want to use them necessarily in your cleaning.
Heck yeah.
At least diffuse and get some of those like stinky enzymes in the air. Like, you know, litter box don't smell great. Poopy diapers don't smell great.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need something to just neutralize the air.
In pure form, oil of wintergreen is an additive to automotive motor oil. So methyl salicylate.
Salad fingers?
Salad fingers. Rustus bones.
Like rustus bones.
Yes, oil of wintergreen is toxic, especially taken internally. So yeah, just use it sparingly.
Okay.
Methyl salicylate.
I just went to the doTERRA site because I'm a frequent doTERRA user. I think I have wintergreen. So it does say for each oil that doTERRA, I guess, has in their shop, they also have a PDF with all like the information
Oh, cool.
and like the facts about it and what it's good for. So this is saying application, it's only for aromatic and topical use. I don't know what the S stands for.
Scented?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe scent. Yeah, it says diffuse for a sweet minty aroma. Diffusing, it's fine. It's not, it's not harmful to diffuse, but you definitely don't want to
ingest.
Take this internally. Yeah. No.
So what, never mind. Fuck it. It's fine. Isn't there like a car chemical that's supposed to taste good, like coolant?
Antifreeze.
Antifreeze. Okay.
Antifreeze is actually, it kills a lot of house pets because it's sweet. So if you have like a garage or something, like don't let your animals
put it up high.
Yeah. Well, even with cats, like cats can still get up high. So you might want to lock that shit in a cabinet that your cats can't get to.
Okay. Good to know.
So now I guess let's talk about harvesting herbs. So the leaves and stems can be harvested by cutting into stalks just before or during flowering when their essential oils are at their peak. And flowers can be used too, and they will be at their best at either the bud stage or in full bloom. Rose, lavender, and rosemary blossoms are all harvested this way, and especially good additions to powdered cleansers. Roots, rhizomes, and bulbs should be taken from biennials and perennials when their oils and nutrients are not being used for the plant's growth. And this occurs during late summer or fall when the plant begins to die back and store nutrients underground for the winter, or in the early spring as the first leaves begin to emerge. Ginger is a popular herb that is harvested in this manner. And ginger is a root, right? So does that grow in the ground, like under the ground, like a potato?
It does, yeah. I planted them last year. You can buy it from the store and just stick it in the ground. And the leaves are really pretty. The same with turmeric. And you could just dig it up. You can break it apart because it kind of forms in like those clusters, right? Yeah. So like any rhizome, you could kind of break off the extra little arms and replant them, and they'll just keep growing.
So cool. It's like not a chameleon, like a reptile,
like a salamander.
A salamander, like the tail when it gets scared, it just pops off. Yeah. It also the ginger root always reminded me of like a mandrake.
Yeah.
It kind of has like a body kind of shape. It's got arms. It's got legs. It's got a little spice too. If you're into
ginger spice,
spicy herb, it's ginger spice. Mugwort spice. So as far as drying herbs, so the old-fashioned and most pleasant way to dry herbs is the method of air drying. And not to mention, air drying herbs just looks so pretty.
It does look witchy as shit.
Herbs like strung up on a garland.
Yes.
I looked to my right just now and I saw it scared the fuck out of me. This was just floating like this, like right by my head.
A balloon, her 40th birthday balloon.
It's starting to finally deflate. And now it's like just like hovering over my shoulders. So I keep thinking there's a person next to me. I gotta pop that and get rid of it because it's
so funny.
Fucking with my head. So yeah, I love the method of air drying because it just looks very pretty and obviously very witchy. So at the end of each summer, the author says, I cut several stalks of different herbs to hang in my kitchen to dry. The aroma is incredible. Unless you have a perfectly controlled climate, attics, basements, and garages are usually either too arid or too moist to dry herbs in. And moisture can cause molding, so you'll have to start over if you do find mold in your herbs. The key to air drying successfully is to hang the herbs upside down in small bundles 4 or 5 medium-sized stalks each, and to provide a place where they will get sufficient air circulation and be sheltered from direct sunlight and extreme temperatures. Secure the stalks fairly tight with string or ribbon, and they shrink somewhat during the drying process and tend to slip away from the bunch. You don't want to find your herbs on the floor. You also might want to write the name of the plant on a small tag and attach it to the stalks. Unless you're familiar with herbs and their different scents, you might get confused about the identity of the dried herb product.
I can't tell you how many times that's happened. Hanging in my kitchen, I'm like, what are you?
It's hard to get sage confused though, because sage has a very distinct smell.
And catnip
garden
too.
sage anyway. What?
Catnip's pretty distinguishable.
Yeah. Oh yeah, catnip definitely. And if you have cats, obviously don't hang them too close to the ground because your cats will fuck with that shit. Punky, he goes feral. Stop.
The balloon is freaking her out. It's not the cats, it's the balloon. No!
Hold on.
R.I.P.
Oh my god, that helium smells so bad.
Oh my gosh, you should have and done the
Hi kids. Make my voice change. I'm making a video. I'm making a video. Talking about before what we were saying, how like, some people have the gene where you can either taste cilantro as good or as soapy or whatever. Cats, some have the gene that like catnip, some have the gene that don't react to it at all or just like despise it.
Yeah.
So I guess it all depends on the cat. A couple summers ago, we had a big patch of catnip that grew wild on our lawn, and the neighborhood cats would just come for like the afternoon and just get fucking stoned. And you just see them just like sitting on our back deck.
That's so cute.
Just like chilling there. And
that
just
is so cute.
So ideally, herbs should hang freely from cup hooks or pegs to dry. If you don't have room in your kitchen, there's always the ceiling, and they won't be in anyone's way up there. Mm-hmm. And special racks can be constructed or purchased for this purpose. Some people spread herbs out on screens, which I like to do that. Like get a little baking sheet, put a little, like, the grate you put like a hot plate on. It's like got little squares, like a rack. Yeah.
A cooling rack.
A cooling rack, exactly. Special racks can be constructed or purchased for this purpose. Some people spread herbs out, screens to dry. Fine solution as long as you have room and do not expose the herbs to extreme heat or moisture. In 2 to 3 weeks, the herbs should feel very dry, and the leaves can then be stripped away from the stalk and crumbled into clean glass jars. Avoid storing dried herbs in plastic bags because the volatile oils of the herb will interact with the chemicals in the plastic.
That's what you were saying.
Another method of drying herbs is in a food dehydrator. And this method is excellent because the plants dry evenly as long as you don't pack the trays with too much material. The only problem with this is like you can only do like so many at a time, right? However much space you have in your dryer. Such quick drying preserves the essential oils, and you'll have the added benefit of dried herbs within a matter of hours instead of weeks. Yeah, why not hang a few sprigs of herbs to air dry in the kitchen anyway, just to capture the spirit of your craft? And we were saying, it just looks so freaking witchy, and it looks really freaking cool. Their aroma will last for months, and they lend a homey feel when on display. I agree. And this author says, I don't recommend drying herbs in the oven, even at a low temperature setting. The herbs dry too quickly, their oils evaporate due to constant heat radiation, and they easily scorch. So if you're going to use any quicker method of dehydration, you would definitely want to use an actual food dehydrator.
I think, my oven only goes down to like 170.
Yeah.
The dehydrator that our neighbors let us use, the highest it will go, and that's for like tomato or meat or whatever, is like 135.
Okay.
So I guess anything above that, even maybe 140 might be too much, but I've done it in the oven before, but the air drying or the dehydrator is probably the way to go. Tell me more.
Yeah, other methods of preserving herbs. So while drying is the most common and basic way to preserve herbs, there are several other methods you might wish to try due to space limitations or other concerns, such as a damp climate. So the following are some of the more popular preservation techniques. Infusions are like very strong teas. The herbal material, including flowers, is steeped in boiling water for at least 10 minutes, then strained and poured into clean containers. A general guide is 1 tablespoon of herb to each cup of water. Infusions can be used in a formula in place of water. Rosemary, thyme, and oregano infusions are very helpful when used this way. When kept in the refrigerator, an infusion will last 2 to 3 weeks. Then we have decoctions, which are made to extract the essential oils from heavier materials such as roots and bark. The herbal material is simmered for 10 to 30 minutes and the liquid is then strained. So use about 1 ounce of herb to each cup of water. Like infusions, decoctions can be stored in the refrigerator for up to 3 weeks. Ginger root, cinnamon bark, and vanilla beans are examples of herbs that yield their beneficial properties when prepared in this way. Tinctures, also called extracts, are 1-to-1 ratio solution of alcohol and water. Vinegar is sometimes used in place of alcohol. With this method, the herbal material is packed into a jar and completely covered with the solution of 50% alcohol or vinegar and 50% water and left to stand on a sunny shelf for 2 to 3 weeks. I think I've seen people do this with like echinacea, like the cones, because it's great to take a tincture like that, like when you're getting sick. Echinacea is like a great immune booster. So tinctures may be used in cleaning formulas, but add only 2 ounces at a time. Because of the alcohol content, too much tincture in a formula can be irritating to both the lungs and the skin. And vinegars are made in the same manner as tinctures, but the vinegar is used in full strength. Let's talk about common cleaning toxins. There is no shortage of documentation to prove that many common household products are dangerous to the environment and to your health, but there are several readily available all-natural alternatives that will make letting go of your familiar standby products painless. Some of these items you probably already have on hand. Other items can be found in most natural food stores, hardware stores, and even supermarkets. Do you want to tell us about the difference between soap and detergent?
So, before the dawn of large-scale manufacturing, liquid soaps were made from saponins, foaming, sudsy substances found in the roots of soapwort. There's how you can get your suds.
Oh.
Soapberry and yucca. The typical liquid dishwashing soap bought from the grocery store is made from a petroleum distillate, a toxic pollutant and non-renewable resource. The safe and natural alternative is a vegetable-based soap called Castile, a pure soap made from coconut and olive oil. It is readily biodegradable and made from renewable sources. Castile soap can be found in liquid or solid form in health food stores and, thankfully, some supermarkets. Have you ever made soap before?
Mm-mm.
They sell it at like Michael's, so you can make your own, put in your own soaps. They say one of the best known brands and their typical personal favorite is Dr. Bronner's, which comes in concentrated form and often pre-treated with herbal oils. The company also allots at least 10% of its profits to rainforest preservation and homeless shelter support. Some dangers of bleach. Bleach, or sodium hydrochlorite, is a combination of chlorine and sodium hydroxide, caustic soda, and is perhaps one of the most difficult of commercial cleaner products to relinquish. Technically speaking, the household bleach is not considered corrosive or toxic, even if ingested. What?
Really?
What? Wait.
Huh?
Technically speaking, household bleach is not considered corrosive or toxic, even if ingested.
Wait,
I'm confused.
how does that make sense?
Let me keep reading, I guess. It is,
Okay.
however, classified as a skin and eye irritant. It can burn human tissue internally or externally, especially in small children. In fact, the accidental swallowing of bleach is the most frequently received call at poison control centers involving children under the age of 6. Okay, so the classification that it's getting is not accurate.
Oh.
It says, but younger, tender hands and lips can also suffer serious burns. If household bleach can do such damage and is so predominantly a factor in the accidental poisoning of young children, why keep it around the house?
Yeah.
Many natural and non-toxic solutions for removing stains and keeping whites white. If you feel you must have access to a bottle of bleach, at least use one that is free of chlorine to reduce the risks. One of the best that they have used is made by 7th Generation. Although the company doesn't supply its products on a retail level, they can often be found in health food stores and in some supermarkets. Treat this bleach as you would any other. Store it in a locked cabinet or out of reach of pets and children.
Unpopular opinion. I hate the smell of bleach. I don't use bleach in any of my cleaning.
It reminds me of a public pool.
Yeah, like that chlorine kind of smell. And I just like, ugh, I hate it. I hate it.
It's not good for your septic.
No.
It's not good for
Your skin.
laundry.
It dries the
Yeah,
fuck out
your
of your skin.
Yeah.
If you clean with that, oh.
Mm-hmm.
And I like even getting like a little bit on your hands, I'm like,
it burns.
well, it smells. I like don't even like, smell in my hands if I accidentally get like a little bit of. We had like a bleach spray for the shower, and I was like, I just stopped using it because I was like, this stinks. I don't like it.
Yeah. Although the ingredients you'll be using to make cleaning formulas are often organic in origin, that doesn't mean that they're without consequences if ingested. So this is a word about safety. Essential oils are highly concentrated formulas of volatile oils found in plants and should never be used internally. Just a few drops are equivalent to approximately 30 or 40 cups of herbal tea. Take special care with food-related oils. Citrus oil, for example, could offer a temptation to a young child who may mistake a finished product as something delicious to eat or drink. Essential oils and other materials you find recommended in this book can be irritating to the skin. Again, this book is called The Naturally Clean Home by Kieran Siegelmeyer. Please exercise the same caution with our herbal cleaning formulas as you would any commercial cleaner and keep them away from pets and children. Now that you've decided to switch to all natural cleaning products, you might be wondering what you need to get started. The following must-have items will create a large variety of cleaners for all sorts of different surfaces and jobs. So this says supplies at a glance, and these are all additional options, I guess, as carriers or natural additives to enhance the herbal cleaning. Basic supplies required for making your own cleaners are generally inexpensive and easy to find. To make the widest array of products for your home, the following are the items to have on hand. Baking soda, beeswax. In this book, it does expand a lot on these. So borax, some of these people might not be familiar with. When I first hear borax, I think of like poison, but I never used it before I tried making soap. But borax is a combination of water, oxygen, sodium, and boron. Borax is...
I think of Dr. Seuss.
You do? Oh, like the Lorax?
Yeah. I was confused Lorax with borax. And I'm like, that just sounds like a Dr. Seuss character.
This next word reminds me of your last name. Like at a quick glance, it looks like your last name. Carnauba?
Carnauba? Carubia wax?
Carubia wax. It says it's the hardest natural wax known, made from a Brazilian palm tree. This item is sold by furniture stores or mail order companies. Castile soap we touched on, citrus seed extracts, cream of tartar, which I've never used in cooking. Do you use that in cooking? But you can clean with it too, I guess.
I've never used, yeah.
It's a popular culinary ingredient.
What is it used for in cooking though? Like, what does it do?
I don't know.
Okay.
Say this next word for me.
Diatomaceous earth.
This is a powder made from the skeletons of fossilized algae.
What?
That's cool.
That's like cleaning with dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's cool. And it's available at garden supply and hardware stores as well as through mail order companies. Note, however, that this type of diatomaceous earth is not the same substance that you can buy from pool supply centers. Okay. Essential oils, glycerin.
You can use diatomaceous earth in your garden. It says it's actually a safe, non-toxic way to control pests,
Cool.
maybe aphids. It's effective against all insect pests that crawl on plants because contact with the powder is extremely dehydrating. So water your plants, then dust it with the powder, and the moisture will help the powder stick to the plants better.
So put it directly on the plant, not the soil?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the leaves, I guess, the foliage
Oh.
or whatever the aphids or whatever the pests are munching on.
Yeah.
They can't.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah, try it out.
I wonder, so that is a powder. So I wonder if you mixed it with vinegar or even neem oil, if it would be like an extra.
Let's see. But somebody on Reddit asks, has anyone mixed neem oil with diatomaceous earth? And then somebody responded and said, no, diatomaceous earth doesn't work well when it's wet.
Interesting.
Yeah, and neem oil is cut with water. So if you're going to use them both, then use the neem oil first.
Okay.
Say.
How about that?
Yeah, then let it dry and then powder with the diatomaceous earth.
Lanolin. Lanolin is an oily substance derived from sheep's wool. It can be purchased from mail order companies. Murphy's oil, soap flake, washing soda, and white vinegar.
So it's different than baking soda, I guess? Yeah. Okay. I really like using baking soda. Not only does it neutralize like stinky ass scents, but if you don't have a stainless steel sink, and I'm speaking from personal experience because we have the quartz or something that's not you
It
know,
has little pores in it. It's kind of
yeah,
porous.
it's porous and it stains very easily.
Mhm.
We make a little paste out of baking soda and peroxide. Cake it on your sink, let it sit there for like 20 minutes or as long as you want, really. The longer it sits, the more stain you're going to get off. And then just like rinse it down and then actually wipe the rest of the gunk out. I can't tell you anything that's worked as well getting stains out of my sink than this method.
I usually use like a magic eraser, which it works
Does that
great,
work?
but it's not really economically responsible. I don't know. It's not like green as much green as like the baking soda and
Because
peroxide would be.
it's waste, right? Once
It's
you're done with the
waste.
sponge, then you got to throw it out.
Right.
So
Totally.
yeah, so the baking soda, it works great. So if you have a sink that gets stained very easily, try it out and see if it works for you.
Write us in.
Let us know. Magnolia Street Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Let's clean house.
Tell us about heavy hitters as far as herbs in the cleaning world.
So homemade household cleaners using herbs and other natural products are safer, inexpensive, and better for the environment than chemically based cleaning products, obviously, right? So the first one, the biggest one, lavender, derives its name from lavare, which means to wash in Latin, and its earliest uses include cleaning clothes, furniture, and the human body. The leaves also have antibacterial properties. So some growing tips: all lavender grows in full sun to partial shade in soil that drains well. In gardens with poor drainage or clay soil, rather grow lavender in pots. Prime planting season is spring and summer. Water well-established plants. Plants in pots should be watered more frequently.
They like to be thirsty.
They do
You don't
like
have to water them as frequently as you think.
They do like to be thirsty. Keep them in a very sunny spot. My lavender is on the sunniest spot on our property, and it always does really well there. So once you find something that works, stick with that. Water it well until established if you're planting it in the ground. Harvest leaves throughout the year and flowers when their color is most intense. It's great for cleaning, like carpets, tile floors, windows, kitchens, bathroom surfaces, and how to use it. So to make an all-purpose surface cleaner, mix 1 part vinegar and 9 parts strong infusion of lavender. This combination will kill germs and clean almost any surface, including windows. I like how it keeps stressing the windows. Like, I don't know why lavender and windows, I don't know. So it says to box, how to make a strong herbal infusion. Use equal parts of herb and water. For example, 1 cup herbs to 1 cup water. In a pot, boil the required amount of water. Remove from the heat, add your herbs, cover it, leave it for 15 minutes, and strain it. Keep the container covered to contain the steam and the volatile oils. An infusion can be refrigerated for up to 48 hours. So it doesn't last that long. So I would say if you're going to use it as soon as you make it, or make it when you're ready to use it. The next one is rosemary, episode 62, and this was probably our very first air freshener, Rosmarinus officinalis. So in medieval times, branches were laid on the floor or burnt to mask bad odors. This hardy perennial shrub is an all-purpose herb used in cooking for healing and as a hair tonic and rinse. And also exorcisms, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't rosemary like used for the exorcisms? If you're gonna clean house, clean house. I wonder if they use the rosemary during the whole Jimmy banishing, you know?
For sure.
So some growing tips. Rosemary grows in full sun, tolerates nutrient-poor soil and drought. It can also be grown in containers. And all rosemary that we've ever grown has been in a pot. I don't think I've ever put rosemary in the ground.
Okay.
Although you can. It is evergreen and can be clipped as a topiary. It flowers in spring and autumn. The volatile oil is most concentrated in the leaves, which can be harvested throughout the year. And I feel like rosemary is one of those herbs. It kind of, like, you can kind of get away with it doing pretty well in your garden, probably up until maybe December. I guess it depends on where you live. In Jersey, December's pretty mild still. Like, it doesn't really start getting like deathly cold until like mid-January, February. It can last in the garden, you know, for a while.
Yeah, ours stays green, but it's not producing new shoots or anything over winter.
Right. Yeah, but it is great to, I guess, still clip some. I still use it for my cooking in December, soups, stews, all that kind of stuff. As far as cleaning, rosemary is great for carpets, floors, windows, kitchen counters, and baths. Use it interchangeably with lavender in the all-purpose surface cleaner recipe. So how to use it. So to make an aromatic carpet freshener, sprinkle the following mix onto the carpet, leave overnight to absorb odors and dirt, and then vacuum it up. Obviously, if you have a pet or, you can't really do this because the pet's gonna fuck with that shit. But if you don't have a pet, you can use 3/4 cup baking soda, 1/4 cup corn flour, and 1/4 cup rosemary leaves or lavender flowers stripped off the stems. You could just, I guess, sprinkle it on like you would do any carpet cleaner and then vacuum it up. The next herb is lemon verbena. So lemon has always been favored as a cleaning agent. Lemon verbena leaves have the strongest lemon fragrance of all the lemony herbs.
I love lemon verbena so much. So much.
It grows into a large attractive shrub with fronds of white mauve flowers in the summer. Some growing tips for verbena. It grows best in full sun, and it likes a well composted but light soil that drains well and should be watered regularly. It is sensitive to cold and prefers a sheltered position if grown in areas that receive frost. It loses its leaves in the winter and should be cut back in the spring to encourage strong new growth, and harvest your leaves in the summer. It's great for cleaning wood and tile floors, countertops, walls, porcelain, bathroom fixtures, sealed, natural, and synthetic stone. And here's how you can use it. So try this recipe for a multi-purpose surface cleaner. 1 cup liquid dishwashing soap, 6 cups of water, 1/4 cup lemon juice, 1/4 cup strong infusion of lemon verbena. You can also use thyme, lavender, tea tree, mint, peppermint, and then mix the ingredients together in a cleaning bucket and use it with a mop or a cloth. The next one is rose scented geranium. I love anything rose scented. I'm a sucker for rose anything. The sweet rose fragrance released when crushing the deep green leaves is unsurpassed. It produces small pink flowers and grows into a compact, drought-resistant shrub. So some growing tips. Plants prefer full sun but will tolerate partial shade. Weekly watering is required and good drainage is essential. Cut back at the end of the growing season to prevent straggly growth. It is susceptible to frost. Pick fresh leaves and flowers throughout the year. It is good for cleaning. Both leaves and flowers can be used in household cleaners. Add a few leaves to the vacuum cleaner bag and tie a few leaves in old pantyhose and put it in the tumble dryer to scent your clothes. That's fun.
Okay. Well, isn't that fun?
Isn't that fun? So how to use it? Make a rose scented scrub with 1 cup baking soda, 1 tablespoon salt, and a 1/4 cup rose geranium leaves or other fragrant leafy herbs. Chop up the ingredients using a blender, sprinkle on area to be scoured, wet slightly, and then scrub. So that sounds lovely. I'm going to try that. The next one is mint. The huge range of different mints include common spearmint, peppermint, apple, ginger, eau de cologne, and more. All with distinctive fragrances that will perfume the home. Jimmy just came through. I don't know what happened. I like how Jimmy's a cologne commercial model now. Yeah, he's just selling cologne in the afterlife. Growing tips. All mint needs rich, moist soil and partial sun. Most mints are creeping and will spread quickly because of their invasive nature. They are best grown in pots. Clip off the runners as they appear, water them regularly so that they don't dry out, and cut if it suffers from rust. Growth dies down in winter but sprouts in spring. For new plants, use rooted runners. And yeah, mint is like one of those, like, if you plant it in a pot, it kind of like grows across the pot. Yeah, it doesn't
Get me out of here.
Yeah, it's like I guess that they call that a rooted runner. Like it like crawls across the pot.
Right.
It doesn't grow up and like shoot straights like other things do, right?
Yeah, it easily reseeds itself too. So even if it is in a pot,
yeah,
like cut those seed heads off before they start dropping because you're gonna have a yard full of mint.
Yeah,
which sounds nice in
it does
hypothetical situations, but no, you don't want that.
No, it's very invasive, and as soon as you see those like little flower buds coming up, shooting off, you gotta snap those right off. And also it makes a healthier, more fuller plant when you snap those heads off, because when it starts flowering, that's like usually when the plant, it gives it the signal. It's like, okay, we're done producing new growth.
Right. Yeah.
So you want to keep, deadheading any of your plants really, so they can get more full and keep
That's what I do
producing
to my basil. I'm like, you're not
longer.
fucking done growing. I need more
You're
pesto.
done when I say you're done.
Yeah. Yep.
Deadhead your mint. Mint is great for using for cleaning, and it just smells so clean. Just like smelling the mint. And this said before, like there's different varieties.
Yes.
So I guess depending on what your favorite variety is, I really like the spearmint.
I'm a spearmint.
They also
fan,
have
too.
like the mojito mints. They have
Yeah.
chocolate mint.
Yeah.
There's so many cool different kinds of mint. And it's great for salads. I love putting mint
Really?
in salads.
Never had mint in a salad.
I like to make like an orange salad.
That would be
with the mint.
refreshing.
I've also used, besides the mint, what's the other one? Is it marjoram? I don't remember which one it was.
Okay.
There's like another one that I tried out a couple years ago and I was like, ooh, this is really good. It's good for cleaning floors, surfaces. It acts as an air freshener. You could use it as a treatment for wooden floors. Mix a half a cup of white vinegar and half a cup of strained peppermint tea or other mint to about 8 liters of warm water in a bucket and wash, not soak, the floors. And there's no need to rinse. So I guess just let it air dry. And if you let it air dry, I guess those oils and those odors stay on the floor and keep it smelling fresh.
Yeah, it must not be sticky, like a sticky residue afterward if you don't need to rinse it either. Cool.
Right.
I'll try that.
Yeah, try that out. Let us know what you guys think if you try that out. So some tips for using homemade herbal cleaners. Before using a homemade product, test it in an inconspicuous area to make sure it won't stain or fade your carpet or other surfaces. Because like some things don't react well with wood, right? Like so you got to be careful. You don't want to strip your wood or anything like that.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
definitely be careful with whatever you're using. So dissolve ingredients like baking soda in hot water before adding to your sprayer. This prevents clogging. Excess herbal cleaning products can be stored for a few days in the refrigerator. And like we were saying before, I would just plan to make it when you're ready. Like if you're wanting to use it, I would make it when you're ready to use it. And if you run out of fresh herbs, you can use a few drops of essential oil. So it says feed herbs twice a month to encourage regrowth. And like we were saying before, not only do you feed it, you also make sure you're deadheading it and you're pruning it and just making sure that it stays healthy throughout the entire growth season. Because once it goes to seed, once it starts flowering, that's pretty much done, right? For the season.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go back to the book. Kristina's got some pages that she's marked. So why don't you tell us about those?
Yeah, the first one was about controlling kitchen pests. When we first moved in, we had they're like sink mats. Yeah.
Yeah. We had those this past summer. I was like, where the fuck are these coming from? They come from your drain. Well, you know what they said to do for those? Keep a kettle of boiled water and just every night pour boiled water down your drain.
That's some medieval torture shit.
Well, it's supposed to kill the eggs because they lay their eggs in your drain, and that's why they keep producing and they keep popping out of your drain because they're laying eggs in there. So you got to kill the eggs with the boiling water.
There it is. That's a good tip. Pro tip. Yeah. Carubia tip.
It's not my tip. I saw it on TikTok or somewhere. I don't know. I was like, oh, I got to try that.
All right. But ants are a big problem. So this says that you can wipe your kitchen cabinets for ants with a damp sponge and 6 to 8 drops of peppermint or citronella essential oil. Then place 3 to 5 drops of those essential oils on the windowsills, doorway cracks, and in the corners of the cabinets under your sink.
We don't get as many ants in our house, I guess because we're elevated. But I remember when I lived in my parents' house, like my parents live on a slab. They're directly on the ground. So they get ants a lot in the springtime. Like when the ground just starts to thaw out, like they get ants like... Yeah. I don't know if they're going to get it this year because I have a cat now. We never had an ant problem here. And I just maybe think it's because we're elevated and they're not.
Okay.
I don't know.
I grew citronella one year and I would like take it and rub it on my legs. And it's kind of scratchy. It kind of feels good if you already have bug bites on your legs.
Yeah.
But I made like a salve from it. And I can't say for sure either way whether it worked or not because my blood is just elixir for these pests.
They love your blood.
But it smells really nice just sitting around it.
Yeah, it is nice. We had a plant too. Like we didn't grow it in the ground, but we had it in a pot and we had it sitting on our deck table. So like we, go out there and eat dinner in the summer night. And I was like, oh, maybe this will keep the mosquitoes away. I didn't notice like any difference.
Yeah.
But like we also lit the candles like in tandem with having the plant on the table.
Okay. The next one is centipedes. I fucking hate centipedes.
Ugh, ugh,
Earwigs and silverfish. So you can place several drops of peppermint, wintergreen, eucalyptus, or citronella oil in the areas that collect moisture, such as damp basements, garages, and cabinets that house plumbing fixtures like under your sink.
Yeah. Do you guys get earwigs a lot?
No, not a lot here.
One summer, we had like an infestation. I don't know what it was. I don't know, maybe it's because we just had put in our raised garden bed
Mhm.
and maybe they just like discovered it. I don't fucking know. But that year, like they were so bad. They were like, I guess they were offshooting from the deck into the house.
Oh,
And like
no.
we were finding them. I was finding them in like toilet paper rolls.
Oh, I
and
remember
like
that story.
yeah, disgusting. So we actually, Avi, I don't know where he found this remedy, but we take little cat food cans and we put in like a little bit of like olive oil or some kind of oil, and you just set it around the base of your plants in like your garden, in your raised garden beds.
Hmm.
The next morning, because they come out at night. So the next morning, you go out to the garden and the whole thing would just be filled with fucking earwigs.
Gross.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah, kill those motherfuckers. Fucking hate them. And they kill your plants. They kill your plants.
They're
so you
gross.
want to get ahead of those.
I do
Right.
see silverfish a bit, but not a whole lot. Centipedes mostly in the garden, not in the house.
Yeah. Silverfish like hanging out in the shower and your drains, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hate those.
Slimy
And they're so
motherfuckers.
fast too. Have you ever tried like smashing
They're
those?
so fast.
You gotta like beat them or like sneak up behind them and then just like yeah. Sneak attack them from the back.
Another nasty one, cockroaches. Okay, so if you have cockroaches, if you have a problem here, sprinkle a mixture of borax and sugar in the dark areas where roaches like to hide. But this method might not be as feasible if you have like young kids and pets. It may be best to consult an exterminator.
Wow.
When we first moved here, North Carolina, we had what I thought were cockroaches like in the apartment, and I called the lady. I was like, hey, can you have somebody come and like spray around? Sure, they came out. There were still like my cats were going berserk at night
my
trying to get
God.
these what I thought were cockroaches, and I messaged her again, and she was they're not cockroaches. They're a type of cockroach, but they're called palmetto bugs. A
Okay.
palmetto, and they're basically a flying cockroach. So at night or in the early morning when I'm walking in my car to go to work, these things will dive bomb you, and it's terrifying.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
Look up a palmetto bug.
You have to deal with that?
Not down where I am now, but Jesus
That is
Christ, it's
wild.
disgusting.
That is
Right.
wild.
Let's talk about some mice. Place several sprigs of fresh peppermint between pantry items in your cabinets, or you can make a solution of cups of water and 3 teaspoons of peppermint essential oil and spray it wherever you find mice droppings.
Yeah, we had some mice in the basement for a couple winters. We had just gotten Coraline and we didn't have Punky yet, so we would like let Coraline have free range of the basement aside from the laundry room where like we keep all the cleaning supplies, like we keep that shut off. Like I don't even want her going in there. But we used to get these like long-legged spider crickets. Have you ever seen spider crickets?
No, what?
They're crickets, but they have grasshopper legs. They're fucking
Ew.
insane looking.
Spider
Anyway, we
cricket.
would go down there. She would hang out down there, and we would go down there to get something. And like, there'd be like a leg here and an arm there, and an
Killer
abdomen over
queen.
here. She would tear them apart, right? But aside from those bugs, like we would also get the mice. And one night, did I ever tell you this story? One night, I'm like I just go to bed. I shut all the lights off. I get in bed, and I'm laying there, and I hear.
No.
And you know the sound that your fire alarm makes when the battery dies, like that high pitched
chirp?
squeak?
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was at first, because I had my headphones in, I think,
Okay.
and like I just heard it like in the distance, and then I took my headphones out, and I was like, and I hear the cat going crazy,
Oh no.
and she's like on the stairs over, the stairs going to the basement.
Yeah.
I get out of bed, I go over there, I see her like pawing around with something on the stairs, and I'm like, the fuck is she playing with? And my heart dropped into my asshole, and I was like, that better not be a fucking mouse right now, because Avi was already sleeping, and he had work the next morning. So I turn the light off, and I see the mouse just like running back and forth, and Coraline's just like fucking like trying to play with it, and I
Oh my god.
lost my shit
Oh my God.
And I go and I wake Avi up, and I'm like, Avi, I was like, there's a mouse, there's a mouse. He got so mad at me, like he didn't know what was happening because like I woke him up out of like
You were
a deep sleep,
hysterical.
and then he had to deal with that.
Oh shit. How did he
And
get rid of it?
well, I didn't want him to kill it. I was like, can you just like put it outside?
Yeah.
So he like got it in like a towel and just like
that's
brought it
nice.
back outside.
That's nice.
But I guess that was just the mom or the dad because there were other ones in the basement that we had
Uh-oh.
to deal with. But I was like, I don't want to kill any mice.
Sure.
I just want to put them back outside. I know they find their way back in, so we like drive them a little bit far away.
You give them a cushy capture and then you take them on a joyride.
I give them on I do give them a cushy capture because have you ever seen those humane traps with the peanut butter? We like you lob peanut butter on the one side and it lures them in and then the door closes,
Mhm.
but they have access to the peanut butter, so they're not going to starve to death. And there's holes in there so they could breathe.
Okay.
At least for like a day or two until you like find them and like you bring them out of
Okay.
your house. But I can't tell you how many mice we caught that way. I want to keep them as pets.
So for mice, peppermint or get yourself an Avi and he'll
Get
take care
yourself
of the
an
situation.
or Coraline that
Coraline,
doesn't
get
do
yourself
her
a cat. Yeah.
doesn't do her freaking job though. She just plays with it.
So I don't know what weevils are, but mites and weevils, it instructs you to place a few whole nutmegs in flour bins and bags. They must be attracted to dry ingredients.
Right.
And for other insects, it says you can place loose bay leaves in your kitchen cabinets. So give that a shot before resorting to the chemicals. This has a little chart for essential oils for laundry, which is something else I bookmarked. All of these essential oils help clean and freshen the laundry. They offer other benefits as well. So cedar adds a clean woodsy scent. Chamomile is soothing. Eucalyptus is excellent for colds and sinus trouble. Maybe. Lavender is relaxing. Lemon is stimulating and helps whiten laundry. Peppermint is good for colds and sinus trouble. Rose geranium adds a romantic scent. Rosemary is calming but often stimulating on its own. Sweet orange helps remove stains and whiten laundry. And tea tree is antibacterial and antifungal. The rosemary is not suitable for wool or silk or satin, so be aware of that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So another thing they had in this book was about cleaning the air. In medieval Europe, herbs and spices played an important role in the maintenance of the household, not only for their culinary qualities, but also for their ability to mask unpleasant odors caused by poor hygiene and unsanitary conditions. Today, although we may no longer be plagued by insufficient sanitation, we have new challenges to face from modern household materials. Ordinary carpeting, furniture, and painted surfaces all produce toxic vapors such as VOCs, volatile organic compounds. Trichloroethylene
There it is.
formaldehyde, obviously, unless we choose to live in a tent. We cannot escape or avoid every contaminant found in building materials, but we can greatly reduce their impact on our health by purifying the air to minimize their presence in the home. So on that note, there are plants that you can use to cleanse the air. Since we're on this subject, just be aware these household plants may be toxic to your pets. So do your research first and make sure that they're in impossible places for your pets to get to.
So here are 10 indoor plants that cleanse the air. And this article is from almanac.com. One of the first ones on this list is the spider plant. And spider plants are powerful air purifiers, which are able to remove formaldehyde, a gas that is emitted by cigarette smoke, dry cleaning, synthetic carpeting, fingernail polish, and more. Spider plants also remove carbon monoxide, which you may find in rooms with fireplaces or gas stoves. Fortunately, spider plants are very easy to grow and maintain. Just keep moist in semi-sunny to shady spot and it will actually thrive. The next one is a philodendron, so one of the most popular houseplants, and is also excellent to purify your air and remove formaldehyde gases as well. Plus, they are practically bulletproof plants with quick-growing trailing vines and pretty heart-shaped leaves. They can take full sun to shade if watered regularly, and the heartleaf, philodendron sellum, and elephant ear philodendrons are the best air cleaners. I think these are the ones that Avi's mom has these around their house, and like I think they vine, like they kind of like vine around the whole room.
Pretty.
Like his mom's got them vining around the entire living room.
That's pretty.
Yeah. And they've been there for like years, apparently. Like they've been growing those since like he was a kid. The next one is English ivy. I despise.
I know. Maybe if it's in a pot in your house, it might be pretty.
I do think English ivy is very pretty looking, but if you've ever tried to remove it,
oh, fuck that shit.
It is the bane of any gardener's existence.
Yeah.
I have a whole vlog on removing English ivy. Go check it out. youtube.com/Bohemian Magic Studio. I have multiple vlogs on removing this bullshit. So, and I think the previous owners planted it because it's so low maintenance. So like you plant it, you don't gotta worry about pulling weeds. And I think that's probably where a lot of our cricket infestation came from, was that lump of English ivy across the driveway. Yeah. English ivy is a popular hardy plant. Again, it's easy to grow, it's low maintenance, which is I think why some people plant it, but it is also very invasive. It removes most pollutants. It's not fussy about light, and it can survive sun to shade. It doesn't like high temperatures and prefers to stay cool. So keep it moist, spray the leaves weekly to discourage spider mites. But low-key, like, crickets like to live in that shit.
Low-key.
So. Just saying.
No cap.
The next one is the peace lily, and this is a beautiful plant with a lovely white flower which thrives nicely in average indoor temperatures. Peace lilies are known to clean the air of alcohols, acetone, say this word again,
trichloroethylene.
Okay, benzene and formaldehyde, and keep moist in a semi-shady location. And this one looks like it might be poisonous to cats.
I think all lilies are.
It looks a little exotic. I guess use your best judgment and do your research if you have pets. The next one is a variegated snake plant, and this is probably my favorite thing to grow because this is the most low maintenance of the low maintenance plants, and also doesn't need a lot of sun, doesn't need a lot of water. So if you tend to neglect your plants, this may be the plant for you, because it's the plant for me, because I'm horrible with plants. So this is also called mother-in-law's tongue, and I guess it's because of the shoots, the straight shoots, and they kind of curl up at the end, like at the tip. Does that look like a little tongue?
I feel like it's a dig at mother-in-laws, like a snake's tongue. Like she's keep her trap shut.
I like that interpretation. But they're very easy to grow. You can water it heavily and then let it dry out before watering it again, and it can survive any location from sun to shade. And this is probably against best practices, but what I tend to do is I tend to move my snake plant out onto the deck and leave it outside all summer long.
Okay.
And then in the fall, I'll take it in for the winter, and I can get away with like not watering it or touching it for a really long time. And when you're ready to water it, just put it in your shower and just soak it again, and then
it's like, oh, I'm fine.
It's good for another fucking 6 months. Yeah, you should probably water it a little more than every 6 months, but I'm just saying, like, they can go a really long time without being watered. The next one is a bromeliad, and this says it wins a gold star for cleaning up most pollutants. They release oxygen and remove air pollutants at night when you sleep. And these pretty plants with their bright flowers and green foliage do best with bright indirect sunlight or fluorescent office lighting. This drought-tolerant plant doesn't need much maintenance, but it will get root rot if you overwater it and don't provide good drainage. So definitely make sure there's some holes in the bottom of your pot wherever you're storing it. Did you know what those little plant pots, how they come on a little saucer?
Yeah.
Do you know what those are actually for? So you know how, like, I always thought you water the plant and the saucer is for the drainage for the water to collect at the bottom. It's the other way around. So you put water in the saucer and then the plant takes the water up from the root.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm so stupid.
No, I think you have to specifically be told that, or like, was it not bottom watering? I don't know what it's called.
Waterboarding.
Those time-lapse videos are really satisfying to watch, where they put the plant in the water and it just and then it's so happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think they do that because the moisture sitting on top of the soil on the top will attract mites and gnats and bugs.
Yeah. Yep. That is absolutely true. They also have those, like, you ever see those water balls?
Those are cool.
You feel it's like a blown glass. They're very pretty.
Yeah.
And it's also decorative. So you like fill it with water, you stick it in the dirt, and then it actually feeds like gradually, right? It gradually feeds the water as the plant needs it, I guess.
It's almost akin to an Oya. Have you ever heard of those?
Like a plant?
It's like a clay pot. It's got a long neck and a big round belly.
Okay.
And you plant it in the garden. So just the top is exposed and you put the water in there and then it leaches the water out slowly into the garden. Isn't that cool? I think you can make them.
I'm gonna look into that. Because I'm just like, who's got the time to be turning on your hose, dragging it across the driveway every freaking
Timers
day?
are our friends.
Yeah, and last year, Avi, he installed a whole irrigation system, like a drip system, so we don't have to like do that anymore, which is nice. So the next thing on this list is a Dracaena, and I only know this word because of, do you ever watch The Plant Lady on YouTube?
No.
She's great. She's like, if you want to know anything about plants, she got you covered, and she talks about Dracaenas a lot.
It sounds like a vampire name.
Yeah,
Dracaena.
Dracaena. They like to be kept moist in semi-sunny to shady locations.
Locations.
Warneck, Janet Craig, red-edged and cornstalk Dracaena have been rated the highest in removing air pollutants with a little bit of,
benevolence.
That's never gonna get old.
That's so funny.
Anybody who just started listening to this podcast at this episode is gonna be like, what?
Go back episode 50.
To our episode 50. Yeah, there it is. So number 8, a weeping fig. This likes bright indirect sunlight, high humidity, and warm temperatures. Water it when the top of the soil feels dry, and mist it at the top regularly. I've never seen a weeping fig, but next is a rubber plant. And this tolerates dim light and cool temperatures and removes air toxins from any indoor environment. The next on this list, I think this is the last one on this list, the Areca palm. And these are beautiful and they're easy plants that remove all indoor air toxins. I like to go to like greenhouses like Lowe's or like your, local hardware garden and just walk around the plants sometimes.
Me too.
It's just something that like makes my soul happy.
Yeah.
Even though I'm like, I can't take any more plants home.
I can't bring you home. I know.
Oh, you know what Avi did? Such a fucking asshole. I'm like, minding my business, just shopping in Lowe's or whatever. He's filming me from afar. He posted this shit to, was it Instagram?
Oh my god.
With the caption of me, like, the video of me, like, looking at the plant, picking one out. And his caption is, she's picking her next victim.
That's cute. I'm sorry.
You bastard.
He's one to talk.
Yeah, I know. He's like got quite the track record with all the bonsais he's fucking killed around here.
Started on those eulogies. That's cute.
Anyway, let's talk about more plants that clean the air. If you would rather have flowering plants, 2 that fared well in the testing, I guess, of cleaning the air are chrysanthemums, also known as mums, and Gerber daisies. They are effective at removing the volatile oils, and they also produce beautiful blossoms too. Also, Chinese evergreens, they like warm temperatures and medium to low light conditions, allow it to dry a bit between waterings, and keep out of drafts which can cause the leaves to brown. Next is the reed or bamboo plant, which thrive in low light as long as they're kept evenly moist. Other great air purifying houseplants include Boston ferns, aloe vera, and bird of paradise. I love my aloe vera plant. I don't use it for burns or anything, but I just think it looks pretty. And no need to turn your home into a jungle. In a house with 8 to 9 foot ceilings, only 1 or 2 plants per 100 square feet of floor space is beneficial. The roots and microorganisms in the soil play as important a role as the leaves, so plants should be in 6 to 8 inch wide pots with the soil surface exposed to the air. Soaking up toxins seems to have no adverse effect on the plants studied. Research shows that they safely metabolize the compounds by breaking them down to harmless carbon, water, and salts.
That's great.
I love science, right?
That's awesome. Plants are so fascinating.
Plants got our back, so we don't even have to talk. Well, I mean,
we don't deserve them.
We don't deserve them.
Like, let me absorb all this bullshit I'm
Yeah.
fine. You go
Yeah.
about your day.
Also, have you ever heard of like the onion trick?
I've heard it for sickness.
Yeah, I hear like you take an onion and you just like sit it, you peel it, I guess, so it can absorb the bullshit.
Oh.
But you just sit it in your, I guess, your area, your living space, and it's supposed to absorb the toxins, especially like if you're like somebody has a cold or something, it's supposed to absorb
I
that.
heard you slice it so you have the ring,
Yeah.
put it on the bottom of your feet, saran wrap it to the bottom of your feet and put socks on and sleep with it overnight. And it's supposed to draw out your sickness.
I don't know if I would try that just because of the smell alone.
My thing is, if it burns the fuck out of your eyes, will it not burn your skin after prolonged
Right.
touching?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But you can also have the same, I guess, effect with any kind of essential oil because the bottoms of your feet are the most absorbent part of your body. So you could take like a fractionated coconut oil and put like peppermint or lavender, and that's supposed to like absorb a lot quicker than putting it anywhere else, apparently. And that's supposed to help you sleep really well.
Okay. Before a break, let's touch back on the Naturally Clean Home book. There were a few recipes. Let's use the garden to help take care of our own gardens. So this said, pest-free garden parties. Once you've cleaned your deck or your outdoor furniture, your grill, you'll want to enjoy your yard without being bugged by bugs. To keep ants... Okay, we're back on the ants. To keep ants from spoiling your picnic, sprinkle a mixture of salt and ground cinnamon around the area. If your bug problems are in the air rather than on the ground, hang strips of ribbon or cloth that have been moistened with several drops of lavender essential oil from nearby trees or other stationary fixtures to deter flying insects. Other natural fly repellents include placing a bowl of lemon or orange peels on the table or using the shoe fly shake recipe that I'm going to share with you right now.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to try this.
Okay.
Nothing irks me more than trying to enjoy an outdoor lunch and being bombarded by flies.
Yes.
Fucking hate it.
So this says, place a few small bowls filled with the following combination of dried herbs outside to keep flies away from your backyard barbecue or afternoon tea party. 2 cups of lavender flowers, 1 cup of rosemary, 1 cup of southernwood, not sure what that is.
What's that?
So a half cup of spearmint, a 1/4 cup of mugwort, 1/4 cup of cedarwood chips, and 3 heaping tablespoons of orris root. You're going to combine all these ingredients and then put them around your patio. Pest patrol and control. Pests come in an assorted variety, some with roots, some may be merely bothersome, while others can be downright destructive. All of them can affect your enjoyment of the outdoor landscape. Worse yet, some of these pests need to be dealt with outside before they have the opportunity to take up residence inside the home. Before you can control common pests, you must first patrol to see where your home and property may be vulnerable to entry. Cracks around windows and doors should be sealed. If you find any holes intended for electrical or plumbing coming into the house that a mouse or other creatures could slip into, fill up the excess space with steel wool. It's a good idea if you don't have like silicone or a patch. Inspect your garden, plants, trees, and shrubs for signs of unwelcome visitors such as aphids, fuck those guys, or fungus.
Yeah.
Once you've completed your rounds and have taken notes, you'll be ready to take control of your outdoor living space. Now, if you're struggling with weeds, like what distinguishes a weed from a valid garden plant is your personal choice for gardeners. Some people deliberately harvest and even cultivate dandelions, for instance, to make dandelion wine or fritters. They say try them both at some time. And dandelion tea is like a cure-all.
Yeah.
Like go harvest that shit.
Great
And
for
you can
liver
use
function.
the root, you can use the leaves and the blossom.
I'm afraid to like use any around my property because I don't know what the fuck Avi puts on the lawn. So I don't
Sure.
even want to fuck with that. Yeah. So definitely if you're going to use dandelions in anything, just make sure they're not being sprayed with chemicals.
Totally. Others consider this pro-life plant to be pesky nuisance. In any case, you'll want to refrain from using toxic chemicals to prevent any unwanted flora from encroaching upon your lawn or garden areas. Corn gluten, a byproduct of corn milling, is the latest newcomer to organic lawn care control. Sand is valued for its effectiveness as both a lawn food and weed deterrent. Corn gluten works as a natural plant food because it delivers nitrogen. At the same time, however, it prevents germination of invading weeds by robbing the seed of moisture as soon as it sprouts. This pre-emergent ability not only helps to rid your lawn of dandelions, but also some of the most persistent invaders, such as purslane and crabgrass. Corn gluten is available in a fine powder, as pellets, or in granule form, the latter being the easiest to distribute via a spreader. Some garden centers carry this product in stock. However, some you may need to order online. In either case, be sure to follow the directions on the package to ensure proper application and watering to activate this double duty weed and feed. And this last little bit, I thought of you, Jess, because your deer are just fucking everywhere.
They don't quit.
They don't quit. This is a recipe for deer be gone. This formula will
Undeterred.
This formula will deter deer from eating your prized strawberries, ground covers, and other plantings. You can also spray this mixture around your perimeter. The recipe can be doubled to help keep them from wandering into your grounds at all. Note that a heavy rain will necessitate reapplication. Otherwise, it should be reapplied every 2 to 3 weeks. All right, you're gonna need 1 cup of buttermilk or regular milk soured with a tablespoon of white vinegar, 3 whole eggs lightly beaten and strained through a sifter, 1 teaspoon of liquid Castile soap, 1 teaspoon of olive oil, 1 tablespoon Tabasco sauce, 25 drops of clove essential oil, and 1 gallon of water, 2 cups removed. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, what does that mean?
It says blend all the ingredients except the water in a blender or food processor using a funnel. Pour the mixture into the water, 1 gallon minus 2 cups. I'm not sure why they're wording it this way. Tap the container and shake well. With a sprayer, apply the mixture to the tops of your plants or ground you wish to protect. The surface should be lightly sprayed, not saturated.
Okay.
I don't know why we're adding then removing.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I don't get that.
Because I guess it's easier to say 1 gallon than the measurements that
Right. Yeah.
almost the gallon.
That makes sense.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woo.
Anyway.
Great. We're going to head into our short break. When we come back, we're going to dive into the metaphysical, the spiritual ways to cleanse your space using some of these herbs. So stick around and we'll be right back.
Hey, little witches! The Stinas here. If you've been listening to our podcast for a while, you would know how much we love using the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle deck by Grounded by the Moon.
And now we want to share the magic of Grounded by the Moon with you, our listeners. Joseph Benitez Egerton, the creator behind Grounded by the Moon, would like to offer this very special 10% off discount to all who wish to experience the magic of his Practical Magic themed tarot and oracle decks.
But that's not all. He also creates other divination tools like tarot workbooks, deck bags and altar cloths, pendulum kits, oil blends, cleansing sprays, smoke wands, teas, and ritual kits.
And let's not forget about his custom handcrafted all-natural soy candles, where every candle is hand-poured and personally infused and charged under the light of the moon. They even come with a crystal.
And did we mention all of the ingredients in the candles are ethically sourced?
All of Joseph's offerings are just so magical. So go visit groundedbythemoon.com and use the coupon code Magnolia Magic for 10% off your entire order at checkout.
That's MAGNOLIA MAGIC. So get your discount today.
We can shuffle, it's fine.
Build salt. Or
salt might be good.
Practical magic. There's the broom.
There is the broom. That one or salt, whatever you want.
All right. So this one says energy and spilled salt says release. Which one do you think applies more?
I was not listening.
Where did you just go?
I was scrolling down to see how much we had left.
Kristina just astral projected while I was having a conversation.
Question me again.
All right, so practical magic, the keyword is energy. Spilled salt, the keyword is release.
Oh, it's a toss-up.
Yeah, which would be...
How about energy?
Energy?
Or
right.
Release. I don't know. Release. Do release, because you're... I don't know.
Oh, well, family home. I know we've done this one in the past, but this is sacred space.
Okay, let's do that one.
All right. Okay, so the family home, it's all about sacred space and being connected. It says, now is the time to create and designate a sacred space. And this couldn't be more perfect for like springtime and cleaning and just getting your space prepared for the warmer months to come. So it says, if you already have one, then take time to rededicate or cleanse your existing one. Everybody needs that place to reflect and purify. The sacred space card is calling out to you, asking you to reach out and connect to the divine. Reside in your comfort and securities. They are your solution, and this is what you need to embrace. Use this space and energy to heal and harmonize yourself. Calm yourself, relax your mind, and clear your worries. Collect your thoughts and connect to higher, guiding, energetic influences. Utilize the powers of your altar. Light a white candle to help cleanse and enhance your connections. And the mantra on the card is, I am collected, conscious, and calm in my sacred space. And I think, like, alongside of your physical cleaning and your spiritual cleaning, I think this definitely airs on the side of spiritual cleaning, but I think having an altar dedicated to that cleansing process of your spring cleaning, and maybe even enhancing the energies of this card. If you guys have this deck, prop this card up on your altar space and just take in the energies of that card while you're cleaning and envisioning just like you just making this space a sacred one. And
Sure.
connecting.
I know my altar gets cluttered.
Mine is right now.
So, and then the minute I take care of it, I'm like,
right? Yeah.
Nice.
Definitely.
And the ancestors are happy.
Mhm.
They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, mine's a clusterfuck right now. Right now, I have just like random stones, random flower petals, no real intention or anything. Everything's just thrown on there because, like, I need to sort through it and just reorganize it.
Now might be a good time.
Now's
What
a
are we
great
coming
time.
up on? Ostara?
Yeah.
Right before.
Before I skipped right over a star and went right to Beltane. I'm like, yeah, the next one's coming up is No, bitch, it's Ostara.
You want the sun so bad.
I know, I'm craving. I'm just like skipping right ahead, and I have to remind myself, like, just be present, stay in the present, just take one day at a time and enjoy now. The winter's making it too hard.
I know,
can't wait
it
to get out of
sucks.
this snow.
But the winter's
Yeah.
the time you enjoy that hot cocoa with your little liquor in there.
Yeah.
Because you can't enjoy that in the summer.
No, but you can enjoy other beverages in the summer, like a nice cold lemonade with
Stop.
a spritzer with your garden mint.
Oh my god.
Well, talking about our altar space, now we're going to get into the spiritual cleansing, right?
Let's do it.
Okay.
So this, I don't know where this is from. This is from actually 2 different sites, which I didn't link. I'm so sorry. This says, remember that we use the term herb very loosely in the witchcraft community. Below, you'll see everything from trees to common kitchen herbs and spices. Some of these herbs you may use in the form of their essential oils. Sometimes you may be working with branches, leaves, roots, or even powders. Know that all forms contain the energy of the plant. Use what works best for you. Also, know that this is not an exhaustive list, just some herbs to get you started. Also, be sure to double check what is safe for you to consume, inhale, or put on your skin, or even have around your pets. Even common kitchen herbs can sometimes interfere with certain conditions, so just make sure you're being safe before you put anything in your body. And medication, like you never know. So the first one is Angelica. Use this to call in protection and purification from your guardian angels. Allspice, another success spice, but also good for stimulating conversation. They say, I like to vacuum with cinnamon and allspice sprinkled on the carpets before guests come over to encourage a warm, friendly atmosphere. Basil, in addition to bringing prosperity and success, it can also be used for purification. Birch, a broom or besom made of birch twigs, can be used to energetically cleanse the home. Cedar, used for purification as well as protection, prosperity, and harmony. You can use cinnamon for it's a multi-purpose herb. You can call on it for protection as well as success, vitality, and love. And the other source says it creates a space of prosperity and of joviality. Some use it for business success, but they say, I find it creates more of a personal confidence and comfortability than anything purely financial. Clove is a powerful healing herb. It can also be used for purification. Eucalyptus, known for its healing and purification properties. Garlic skins, it kills off evil, but it will leave a distinctive odor in the air. It will definitely odor your air. I love garlic. If I could make it into like a roller ball, fuck me up with garlic. I love garlic so much.
I mean, I love garlic too. I'm like your basic Italian, but
Right?
like I don't plan on rubbing it onto my skin like a cologne, I guess you could say. I do love me some garlic.
I think Aaron loves it too. He probably wouldn't be able to keep his hands off me. Be like, Smell me, baby.
Well, you guys definitely are not vampires.
Lavender, calming, peaceful, helps cleanse stressful energy after conflicts. Mint is a powerful herb with many uses. It can be used for purification as well as calling in abundance and resilience. Oregano, it keeps meddlesome influences from interfering in your life. Parsley is an addition to purification. This herb can be used for power, strength, and prosperity. Pine, known for purification and cleansing. It's especially good for clearing the mind. This additional source says pine needles are good for uncrossing and refreshing a home. Not a kitchen spice, of course, but is still easily accessible. Be careful, though, as too many pine needles can gum up machinery like vacuums. So be careful.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
You said that like wrapped in plastic.
Not Peter. Is his name Peter?
Pete?
Pete.
Yeah, Pete.
Poplar, used for purification and exorcisms. Diamonds!
Diamonds!
Rose petals encourages love and passion when crumbled around the home and left for a bit before sweeping and vacuuming. Rosemary is good for domestic bliss, as well as helping those who smell it focus and think clearly. We talked about it in the episode being really good for memory. Sage, probably the best known cleansing herb. It can also call in wisdom. Be sure that your sage is grown sustainably and sold ethically. Salt, great for stopping any hexes put upon you and removing unwanted spiritual energies from your home. They say I use baking soda, which is a type of salt, sprinkled on carpets before vacuuming to both absorb odors and remove pesky curses. Jim Haskin records a method of preventing unwanted guests from returning, which simply involves sweeping salt after them when they leave. I've heard of this. Yeah.
Get out of my house.
Savage. Lastly on here is sugar. This says, a little of this will add a sweetness to your home, though make sure you get it all and don't use too much. A little sweetness may be great, but a lot of ants aren't. The basic method here is to sprinkle everything. Wait a second. Let it sit for a bit. If you can stand letting it sit for 24 hours, that is lovely, but probably a little excessive. 30 minutes is often plenty of time, and even a 5-minute wait will give you a quick dose of magic. Yeah, be careful with that sugar.
Yeah. Also, it's not on this list, but I know some people use like the cascarilla powder.
Yes.
Or,
Yep.
like borders or like on their around their property line to keep out unwanted guests. Also, a little bit on the windowsills keeps
Totally.
like the bad spirits out or
Totally.
at bay. But you're supposed to like open your windows, right, so they can escape.
Yes.
So they're not like staying in your house.
Like,
Right.
fuck.
Oh my god. Okay, real quick. You want to hear some creepy fucking shit? So last night, me and Avi were talking about the kitchen, right? Like, and how I want to redo the kitchen. So we're like sitting there on the couch talking, and like I go over. Okay, well, first of all, there's like a stained spot in the middle of the kitchen ceiling, like right above the stove, because I think like water was getting in there at one point, and it's been there for a while, right? So we're both aware of this spot on the ceiling last night, and that spot has been there for a while. So like we've both like inspected it multiple times, like looking at it on different occasions, just making sure like it's not getting worse or anything. So last night we're talking about redoing the kitchen, and I go up closer to it, and I'm like, yeah, we're probably gonna have to paint this ceiling. And I'm looking at the spot, and I'm like, did you do that? And he's like, do what? And I'm like, somebody like took their finger and wrote fuck in the
No
grease,
way.
or in the spot. And from the K, it looks like somebody also drew a pair of dangling balls.
I bet you that was your brother.
It might have been.
That
but
is
like,
so funny.
But like I look at that spot every day, and that has not been there. And
That's so funny.
I was like, did you do that? And he's like, I didn't do that. Why would I do that? He's like, you didn't do that? I was like, no, I
Oh
just,
my god.
I just noticed it now.
That is hilarious.
So we're both looking at it. We're like, who the fuck wrote that in the fucking ceiling?
Fuck.
So now I'm creeped out. I'm like, now our ghost, whatever ghost is hanging around here, is writing obscenities in our grease spots on the fucking ceiling.
That's so funny. Oh shit.
It creeped both of us out because neither one of us did it. We were like, we look at that
Weird.
spot every day, and has not been there.
Spooky.
Very spooky. Speaking of spooky,
Okay.
We're going to talk about some spiritual house cleaning now.
Okay.
It's always nice to start the new year off with a clean, well-appointed home. In some traditions, this is not mere vanity or hygiene, but a spiritual necessity that must be done on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve to ensure that the home is clear and ready for the coming year. And I think we talked a little bit about this on our broom episode,
Probably,
right?
yeah.
So today we thought we'd look at a few of the magical methods for house cleaning, as well as some of the most common cleaning agents with a magical touch. So the first one, obviously sweeping and vacuuming. This has to be done. There's just no way of getting around it. The floors must be kept clean, at least within reason, and usually a broom or a vacuum is employed to that end. Workers in the conjure and hoodoo traditions tend to have specific techniques for sweeping, often going from the topmost floor of the house to the bottom and working from the back of each floor towards the front. So though this person writing this says I've seen many variations on that, often depending on the specific needs, getting rid of a bad spirit might involve sweeping out the back door, for example, while floor washes are the go-to method for spiritually cleansing a house and adding specific magical vibes to the area. And we'll talk more about this in the mopping and floor wash section. You can add a degree of magic to the sweeping and vacuuming process too. Various powders can be sprinkled on floors and carpets and left there for a bit before sweeping. These will absorb some spell work and leave other magic behind. Some good ones to try out are available at Lucky Mojo, I guess luckymojo.com. Another most common cleaning method with a magical touch is the fear not to walk over evil, and this is a powerful...
I think these are their recipes, perhaps.
Oh, this is a recipe. All right, so this is a powerful anti-hex and anti-foot rack magic powder. This next one, House Blessing, it says is a very simple, peaceful powder. Next is a Crown of Success or Fast Money, which is to encourage prosperity and abundance. This next one is Chuparosa, or the hummingbird, which is used to create love and attraction between partners in the home. Likewise, you might also opt for simple household items to do some of your mojo work during sweeping and vacuuming. Many spices make great conjure sweeps and smell wonderful when taken up by a vacuum and slightly warmed by the machine's motor, and add an aromatic energy. And some that this author says they like to use, like to use mopping and floor washes. And this is probably one of the best hoodoo methods of cleansing. I guess, is this a hoodoo website?
Yeah, Lucky Mojo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is a hoodoo method of cleansing, blessing, and enchanting a home. Using a prepared magical floor wash to clean anything that can handle getting wet, including the walls, still makes for great spell work. Some of the most famous floor washes are, again, from Lucky Mojo, the Chinese wash, which is an old school formula, which reputedly came out of Chinatown, though which part of it is not particularly clear. It's made from several powerful ingredients, many of which are found in Van, with broom straws added for extra oomph. Didn't they do an episode of Van on Waba?
Yeah, pretty sure.
I think I remember that episode.
I think they reference Lucky Mojo a bit too.
Yeah. So it's good for knocking out any hexes and doing purification work. So now Van, this is covered in a different blog post on this website. But briefly, it's a blend of several Asian grass extracts, chiefly lemongrass and vetiver root. And it is like a Chinese wash. It cleanses and purifies. Next is Peace Water. When made in its most interesting form, Peace Water is beautiful to look at with layers of blue and white clear liquid on top of another one in a mesmerizing stasis. When mixed up and sprinkled into a floor wash, this helps create feelings of calm, quiet, and tranquility in even very turbulent homes. Next is Rose Water. And this is a very basic addition to a floor wash that can be found in many ethnic grocery markets. It's not much more than a strong rose tea stabilized with alcohol, so you could easily make your own if you have access to, roses in your garden that are not being sprayed with pesticides. It's also fairly cheap to buy if you don't have access to roses. Okay, so when used in a floor wash, it promotes feelings of love and agreement. And in addition to these specialty formulas, there are lots of common household cleaners you can use with a magical bent. One is Pine Sol. So this commercial floor cleaner basically evolved out of a hoodoo floor wash. So Kat Yaron Wood, the author suggests adding a little Van to a bottle of pine sol and using it as a simple substitute for a Chinese wash. Traditional pine scent is great, of course, or you can go with a lemon pine sol or any lemon-scented cleanser like it. Lemons have a cut and clear effect on space and have long been associated with destroying curses and breaking hexes. Charles Leland's Aradia records an anti-evil eye charm, which is fundamentally a pomander made of a lemon and pins. So basically, like, like a pomander ball like you see in Christmas time with like the orange and the clove. You could do the same thing with, I guess, a lemon.
And pins.
Yeah, and pins. It leaves a lovely clean smell too, though a fairly artificial one in most cleaners. Feel free to add some fresh squeezed lemons to your mop bucket for a rootsier version of lemon cleanser. And again, there's always like natural alternatives. You don't have to use a pine sol or like any kind of chemical cleaner. You could do this in like a natural cleaner too. Just use the lemons and they just smell nice and fresh. This says ammonia, and Draha Mikarahik recommends a simple floor wash of ammonia and salt added to mop water, and it really makes a wonderful cleansing and protecting wash water. It can really neutralize almost anything thrown at you, magically speaking, and it disinfects beautifully. Mikaharik also recommends a little ammonia down every drain when you finish cleaning, just a teaspoon or so to finish off your magical house cleaning. And I'm sure the ammonia alongside of like boiling kettle water will probably do the job to clear out all those like gnat eggs and nests that are sitting in there. And next is our go-to vinegar. Four Thieves vinegar is popular as a counter curse wash and as a protective mix in for mop water. But really any vinegar will help get rid of allergies and protect the home from invaders and malicious forces. If the scent is strong enough, it may protect you from visitors altogether. This one might be a little controversial. It says urine, and this one is very traditional in hoodoo, though much frowned upon in modern use. It has, however, been long used as a cleaning agent, and a little urine diluted in some mop water can be very powerful for, quote, more territory and protecting the home.
Okay.
It can also instill a sense of good luck in the place and ensure fidelity in your mate and passion from your lover if they don't catch you doing it, of course. And to use that one at your own discretion.
I've only seen it in like Outlander when they're cleaning the like
oh, that's right,
material, right?
We
Because it
talked
gets
about
rid of
that
lice
before.
and bugs and shit.
Yeah, I think we have talked about that one before, but I don't think I would be doing that one anytime soon. Not judging anybody who does, but I mean, to each their own.
Don't tell me, please.
Have at it if you're so inclined. There are lots of other cleaning agents out there that you can use, of course. Almost anything scented probably has at least some tenuous connection to a magical formula, so a little homework can help you transform that bottle of mopping glow into a powerful apothecary's potion.
Mopping glow. That was a good sales pitch.
You like that?
Yeah.
So next is windows and doors. You don't do windows, you say? Well, I'm just thinking of that.
There you say.
You don't do windows, you say? Well, you should at least open them up. Whenever you do a good house cleaning, throwing up the windows and letting some fresh air circulate is vital to getting everything, quote, right. It helps balance out all forces in the home, allows bad spirits to leave and get the fuck out, and refreshes the air in the house. It's cold to do this in the winter, of course, but turning the heat off for 10 minutes and letting a little fresh air in can make all the difference in getting a home feeling good and happy again. And likewise, the doors should be open for a bit to let air circulate. And when it comes to washing doors and windows, you can really use any of the same washes we just talked about above in the mopping and floor wash section. And you can also use a variety of other ingredients to get things right in all your entrances and exits. For example, many folks take a little olive oil or holy oil, which is basically blessed and sometimes lightly scented olive oil, and make a little sigil in the corner of every window to seal that entrance against evil intrusions. Some folks like put blue bottles in the windows, where we just talked about the blue bottles, right? Your blue bottle tree in was it our Samhain episode? We were talking about the bottle tree.
It must have been, yeah.
was that
1 year
one?
celebration?
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, the blue bottles, and that's a southern thing, right? You guys do that down south?
Yeah, we got the bottle trees, yep.
Yeah, or jars full of sand or marbles in the hopes that any witches who might try to get in will be forced to count The boo hag!
The
Count
boo hag!
the contents of the container and be unable to do so before daybreak when the power ends.
There it is.
There it is. The boo hag came back around. You can make a wash water of red brick dust, urine, and salt in warm water and use it to scrub your door to add a powerful layer of protection. I think I'm gonna stick to the cinnamon.
Yeah. If anything, if you're really trying to put urine in something, maybe use it in a like do this concoction in a spray bottle and maybe spray like the very where your driveway meets the road.
Where the rubber meets the road.
There, that might be it. Or you could go around the whole property, if you wanted to. But I don't think I'd use it in the house.
Yeah, I already have 2 cats. I already have my house smelling like cat pee half the time. I don't need to add my own urine to that mix.
Yeah.
So let's just say the cats do it for me and we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
That's their magical contribution to my magical living, is them just putting their urine everywhere.
Not taking care of the mice, that's for sure.
I just want to clarify, my house does not smell like urine.
It doesn't. No.
I work very hard at keeping the litter boxes clean and like keeping everything swept up around the box and everything clean and good to go. But they step in and out of the litter box. That scent is still attached to their paws.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you can also sprinkle salt and brick dust lines at the threshold and in the sills of every window to keep unwanted spirits and spells. So once the house has been aired out and all the windows and doors cleaned and open for a while, some folks might like to use some incense or use some room sprays or even just make a little something in the kitchen to add an element of magic to the home. And they've already mentioned pine and citrus scents as powerful agents for spiritual and physical cleansing. Other odoriferous offerings to your home can include fresh bread, one of the best symbols of abundance and prosperity. Bake a loaf in your oven and let the scent fill the home.
You know, I made bagels yesterday.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm never buying bagels again. Secondly, Aaron comes in. He was like, "Are you making pizza?"
And you're like, pizza?
Pizza. I was like, "No, I'm making bagels." Oh, they're good.
They came out good though?
Yeah, man. They're like
good.
dense. You only really need half of one. It says you can use bread flour. I just used regular flour.
Floral scents like jasmine, rose, lavender, all of these have specific uses and add specific magical vibrations to an area. Rose fragrances inspire love to many, for example. So look into the flowers you like and figure out what note they will set in your newly clean domicile. I personally love, like in May, we have an orange blossom that grows in the back and it lines the entire property. So we get those, like we get very abundant in orange blossoms, and just walking into the yard is intoxicating. So sometimes I'll clip some of those and I'll put them in a vase and just like let it permeate the space.
That's heavenly.
They don't last that long, maybe like a day or two before they dry up and the scent goes away, but like when they are fresh,
that sounds awesome.
It smells along the same lines as like a jasmine, like very floral, very intoxicating.
I love
like
it.
Lilac, honeysuckle, all of those very strong scented things. I love all of those. They just remind me of summer. Next up is a sweetener. It's a bit strong when burned. If you're airing out your house, however, a little honey, brown sugar, molasses, or even table sugar might be a good thing to buy or warm on the stove, as it will provide a sublimely sweet feeling to the area. And the author Draha Mikarahik again highly recommends this, and this author says, I can't say it, I'm against it either. One thing I don't see on this list is a simmering pot, which you could do with any kind of like citrus, clove, cinnamon sticks, anise, anything that you have in your pantry that's gonna bring on a beautiful, just homey, cozy aroma in your space. And this says nailing it down. So this is a practice particular to conjure and hoodoo, though there are likely variants or similar practices in other magical systems. The basic idea is that by pounding nails into your home's corners and the corners of your property, you fix it there and create a stable environment.
Ooh, I want to do that.
And your roots down, right? You also assert your ownership of the place and help to guarantee your continued residence there. The most commonly used nails for this are the square cut kind, usually sold cheaply at hardware stores. And for doing the corners around your property, you want to use something bigger, like old railroad spikes. The basic idea is that you simply nail them into every corner of your home, particularly the ones along the outside walls. You can bless them with oil or holy water or anything else you feel is appropriate, or simply nail them down while saying a little prayer or incantation, and that you remain safe, happy and comfortable in your home as long as the nails remain in place. Remove them if you ever have to move away for any reason. You can take them with you and put them in your new home, as long as the nails remain in place. So that's a lot of cleaning, but it's also good to have a clean home for both practical and spiritual reasons. So give some of these a go and see how they work for you. It's not too late to get a head start on your spring cleaning. I mean, by the time this episode comes out, it's like March is halfway over already.
Yeah.
And April's right around the corner when those flowers start coming back outside and it gets warmer out. And like I said before, when it gets warm out, I know I'm not going to feel like sitting inside cleaning. I'm going to want to be out in the garden.
Yeah.
So get ahead of it now and just get started on your spring cleaning. Open those windows, do your washes, get all of it done.
Urine not recommended.
When urine, yeah, definitely not. But I mean, if you do happen to use urine in your house cleaning, we're not going to judge you. Not out loud anyway.
No. We'll just judge you on our podcast. So let's talk about how to use other ways to use these herbs.
Okay.
Just as we can work with these herbs in various forms, we can also use them in a variety of ways to cleanse ourselves and our spaces. So here are a few ideas to get you started. I think we're very familiar with smoke cleansing, but if you're not, burning responsibly sourced sage, or we've talked about rosemary, juniper, cedar is probably one of the best, most common cleansing methods. You can buy or create a herb bundle with any of the herbs that we have talked about, or you can use the loose stuff and put it on a charcoal disc. Same thing. They say their preferred method is to make a loose incense blend by grinding the dry herbs in their mortar and pestle, and then they can burn them on a charcoal disc. I'm gonna just fuck off right now.
Would you say that, like, I know a lot of people like using the white sage, even though it's controversial. But would you say garden sage is equally as good to use in like a bundle to cleanse?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's intention.
Yeah, I like using my garden sage in like little bundles. Yeah.
I just organized my little witchy drawer down there, and I have all of your little bundles that you sent me now all in one place. And I have a little sage down there that you sent me, and lavender too, I think.
Yeah, I love incorporating a lot of different garden components into a bundle.
I like the ones that are very colorful.
Me too.
With like the roses on the outside and stuff. Oh, so beautiful.
Me too.
Craft your own herbal infusions to create a cleansing tea. Be careful with this. Like, I like to do this because I have all the loose stuff. There are jars upon jars of dried herbs in there, but I'm never really sure what interacts with what. So just be sure you know what you're doing. Caitlin sent me a really good book.
My go-to is usually the mint and rose. I just love that combination together.
Yeah. I like to make my own sleepy time tea. So I like the lavender from the yard, chamomile, catnip, and valerian.
Ooh, that'd probably knock you out for days.
It does.
Sounds good.
Yeah, even without the valerian, for some reason, it just feels more powerful than the store-bought sleepy time tea.
Oh, I'm sure it's coming from your garden and you're like all your magical intentions in everything that you're growing. So I'm sure it's going to do the job probably a lot better than. There's some word that some of the tea brands in the stores contain pesticides. I don't know how much of that is fabricated or rumors or just like fear mongering, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's always just better to use your homemade grown stuff.
Yeah. Be sure, it says that the herbs you're using are safe to be ingested and are sold for that purpose, or that you've grown them yourself. For example, some dried lavender not grown for consumption may not. Okay, this is your lavender bread situation. Culinary versus, I guess, fragrance. I don't know.
Yes. One is specifically for cooking purposes, which I was not aware of back when I made my lavender bread, and it was a little more floral than I had anticipated, and also I did put way too much in there. So maybe if I scaled back a lot, it would have been more bearable, but there is definitely a difference between culinary lavender and, I guess, fragrance lavender.
Yeah.
Right?
Just double check.
Yeah.
You can create a spell jar or charm bag or a witch ball. Use some of these herbs along with other materials for cleansing to make a jar or bag for transportable cleansing spell. Make a floral wash or cleaning spray we just discussed. Add these herbs to the water used for cleaning. This cleanses both physically and energetically. You can use moon water or other charged water for added power.
Love that.
Yeah. Create a cleansing room spray. You do room sprays, don't you? I thought you did.
No, well, sometimes like I'll just like take random stuff and put it in a bottle and like, call it a spray. But I probably don't do it correctly, but
I want to go grab that room spray that I got from Salem real quick so I can plug it
Ooh,
shamelessly.
that's a good spray. I look for that on their website and they don't sell it on their website. Next time, when we're in Salem in at the end of or Boston at the end of March, maybe we should take a drive to Salem one of the days.
Pick
I want
up
to
some
get some
more.
of that spray.
But this is made by Ludlow Luna, Austin, Texas. But it's called Summon, and it's eucalyptus, balsam, and cedar. And I evaporate when I use this room spray. It just makes me feel. Sometimes I'll spray it and I'll run through it like a perfume. It smells so good.
I love that method.
I use it so sparingly because I'm like, I don't know when the next time I'm going to be in Salem is, but we're going to be there in Boston shortly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you use a lot of that already?
No, I really, really try to use it sparingly.
That smells so good.
It does. Let's get you some.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll use herbs and essential oils to create room sprays or body sprays. This is great for places where smoke isn't safe or allowed, like apartments. It's also awesome for a time or place where you don't want to explain your practice to other people, but you also need to cleanse that energy. A cleansing spray is perfect for like the workplace. And lastly, it says tend to your plants. Keep some of these herbs in pots around your house or plant them in your garden. You can even plant a tree with cleansing properties to keep that energy on your property for years to come. And I want to add that when we first moved in, we have a big Bradford pear tree in the front yard. They're the ones that are white in the springtime for those listening down south that smell like vagina. They smell
What?
they stink, but they're beautiful. Anyway,
Ew.
I wanted to like say hello to the property and give it some movement. So I bought like dollar store plastic like ribbon, red ribbon, and I tied all these dangling red ribbons throughout the tree.
Just pretty.
It was really pretty, and I thought it like gave the tree a little more energy and a little more life.
I like that.
And even putting wind chimes. This is like garden. We've talked about all this before, but
Yeah.
you don't have to put the wind chimes outside, using it to create more energy in your kitchen, your living room.
Yeah,
Open window.
when you open your windows, that could be another great method of cleansing. When you open your windows to cleanse your space and you let those bad spirits out, and that breeze comes in and it tinkles your little wind chimes, those bells, malevolent spirits don't like the sound of bells, right?
Totally.
Any kind of like high pitched vibration or chime or sound, like those spirits are gonna be like, bye.
Bye.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So, Scott Cunningham's The Magical Household Spells and Rituals for the Home. I guess that's the name of the book. I have his Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, and that's probably one of my favorite books. It's a quick reference, and it's got like almost everything in there. There may be a few things that I wasn't able to find in there, so I think he needs to do an updated version, just saying.
This was one of the first books I bought when I started on this path. I got it on Kindle or something, but it's great. It's got a lot of really good information.
Yeah, his books are very informative and very thorough. So Scott Cunningham says, cleaning the house may not seem like too mystical a task, but here again, magic rears its unpredictable head. Keeping in mind the magical element of household chores may help you whip up more enthusiasm as you reach for the broom, mop, or rag. If not, at least you'll have something interesting to think about while sweeping and scrubbing the mysterious powers that the ancestors saw at work in these actions. The broom has long been associated with magic. Guys, go listen to our broom episode. It's like one of our first few episodes in season 1, right?
Yeah, 6 episodes.
Yeah. Probably ably due to its shape, used in purification rites and kinship with magical wands and staffs. The common household tool is so sacred that in some parts of the world, broom deities exist. Like La Befana? Remember La Befana?
Yeah.
The act of spring cleaning, a long-established ritual, also has magical overtones. Spring is the time of the earth's renewal, arousing of nature after the cold sleep of winter. As such, it is an ideal time to clean your home to welcome in the energies of the new season. Spring cleaning is more than physical work. It should also involve a concentrated effort on your part to rid yourself of the problems and negativity of the past months and prepare yourself for the coming spring and summer. And we talked a little bit about this earlier on. Approach the task of cleaning your house with positive thoughts and a sense of the magical aspects of your work. You are freeing your home of the harsh energies of winter. Cleansing it physically, you are preparing it for the ritual purification that should follow. Legend has it that any spring cleaning performed after the end of May will have no effect.
Oh.
Indeed. Okay, so you guys want to get on top of that. You only have like a month left. June is rather late for tackling spring chores. You may wish to begin your spring cleaning with this brief ritual. Open the windows to air out the house, light a white candle, anoint it with a fresh floral scented oil such as rose, place a flower or sprig of fragrant leaves before this and meditate for a few moments on your coming activities. I just bought, Bath & Body Works just had a really great sale. They had 3 wick candles for $15.
Oh.
I bought a honeysuckle one and a lilac one.
Oh, yeah.
And I have it in my linen closet, so every time I open it, I just get a whiff of like springtime. I'm like, yes. I just get so jazzed about
honeysuckle.
Visualize yourself physically purging the house, washing it clean. Then, while the candle continues to burn, begin your chores. This is some lore and magic concerning mops, though it is limited compared to that of the brooms. For example, if you hang a mop outside your back door, no spells can be cast against you. Just don't do any mopping with it or buy a second mop to use if you try this spell. It's kind of like the same thing with the broom, right?
Yes.
They say that you buy a broom specifically for cleaning and then you can make your own, be somewhere like magical broom, specific more for your spiritual or magical purposes. I leave mine on my porch. So the boo had got to stop and count the bristles.
Yep.
Right. It's said to be bad luck to step over a mop, especially if you trip while doing so.
Oh.
It's far luckier to pick the thing up than ignore it and risk an incident. All household work, from scrubbing stains in the kitchen sink to swabbing the floor with a mop to polishing wood furniture, should be done with clockwise motions. This practice imbues your work and the object you're cleaning with positive energy. Sweeping spells are quite ancient. For instance, a new broom should be used to sweep something into the house before it sweeps dirt out. If not, your luck will go out the door. Never tack down rugs or carpeting until after you wash the floor. Cleaning the floor sweeps away stagnant energies and brings them into alignment with the house's positive energy. Before vacuuming rugs and carpets, sprinkle sweet-smelling herbs onto them. This will leave a fresh scent on the carpet. Lavender is fine for this. To purify rugs, sprinkle them with salt and beat them outside, or use a vacuum cleaner. Or in Kristina's case, just sweep it off the rug and then vacuum the floor. Right?
Yeah, I feel like I make more work for myself, but whatever.
So as with most magical deeds, household purification must be backed up with physical work. Thus, the purification of the house begins with scrubbing the floors, washing the windows, because like attracts like, and dirty, unkept houses with no order whatsoever practically invite disturbing vibrations. Even if your home isn't scrupulously neat, it's in order if you know where everything is. While cleaning the house, see yourself washing away all the sorrows and the problems that have accumulated there, especially over the winter. Those winter blues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are unable to see or sense them, imagine their presence anyway. See the dirt in the water, on the sponge, or the mop as containing the negativity. Immediately dispose of such contaminated water outside. After vacuuming, remove the bag, take it outside, and replace it with a fresh one. Once the house is physically clean, you're ready to start the magical purification. Any of the following rituals can be used, though they vary greatly, and they are similar in intent. So the first one is an elemental purification, and this rite utilizes the power of the 4 elements, earth, air, fire, water, to cleanse the home. At a time when you are alone in the home or in the presence of family members or housemates, assemble on the table of the following items: a bowl or flat dish of salt, an incense burner, frankincense or any other sweet fumed incense sticks, cones, or powder, a white candle, and a bowl of clean, pure water. Light the incense and the candle. Stand before the table and open yourself to your home. Feel its energies. Really tune into any impressions you receive. After a moment, hold your hand over the assembled tools and say something like the following. I mean, feel free to improvise. Of course, anything that comes from you is probably going to be more effective or more powerful. So Scott Cunningham says, "I charge you, tools of the elements, to sweep my house, clean it of all ill and bane. This is my will, so mote it be." And then you take the dish of salt, moving in a clockwise direction around the house, throw a pinch of salt into each corner of every room, saying the following or similar words. By the powers of the earth, I cleanse this house. In your imagination, see the salt burning away negativity as you sprinkle it and toss it. Your purification will be as strong as your visualization. Also, throw pinches into cupboards and closets. through opening doors and windows into attics, basements, garage. Next, set the salt down and pick up the censer, your incense burner. While the incense smokes, carry it on the same route you use with the salt, holding it before open windows and doors in the corners of each room, visualizing the smoke clearing away all negativity and evil. Say the following at regular intervals. By the powers of air, I cleanse this house. Once you have walked through the whole house, return the censer, take the lit candle on the same route. Again, visualize moving clockwise, holding the flame before the windows and the doors, seeing it shine forth with magical power, burning away any negativity, and every so often say, by the powers of fire, I cleanse this house. Finally, replace the candle on the table, take the bowl of water, sprinkle the water throughout the house, in every corner, at the exits, at the entrances, toss some drops at and through the windows, see and know that the water is washing away ills with a tidal wave of magical power, and say the following: by the powers of water, I cleanse this house. And then set the bowl on the table and stand for a few minutes in the house. And it should feel calmer and more peaceful and fresh and clean. And if not, feel free to repeat the ritual as many times as you need to, or maybe make it like a weekly thing, if not daily, maybe on your Saturday, Sunday cleaning once around. Like I like to do a nice tidy up every weekend just to reset for the week, and make it a ritual every week if you want to keep up with that practice. Right. So next up we have broom purification. So before dawn, take a branch from any tree, thank the tree for its gift, and leave a coin or a semi-precious stone at its base as a payment, like to the fae, I guess, to the nature spirits. Next, obtain several brightly colored flowers on long stalks. Tie these flowers to the branch to fashion a sort of a broom. I used yarrow for mine. It works great because it grows really tall. Then sweep the floor in every room of the house, visualizing the flowers of the broom, absorbing negativity and, quote, evil as you work. Then, still before sunrise, leave the broom at a crossroads. Ooh. Traditionally in the Southwest United States and in Mexico, this ritual is repeated at the first of each month. And we talked a lot about the crossroads, right, in our Jimmy episodes.
Absolutely. So yeah, it came up a few different episodes.
Yeah, so go check out that whole series if you guys want to learn more about the crossroads and crossroads magic. So next is the infusion purification. For this, you collect equal parts, about a handful of each, of dried marjoram, bay, and rosemary. Heat a gallon of water until it's almost boiling. Remove it from the heat and toss the herbs into the water. Cover and allow it to cool. Strain the herbs from the water and using your fingers, sprinkle the infusion through the house. Move it in a clockwise direction, visualizing and saying something like the following: I banish evil and negativity. This is my will, so mote it be. Short and sweet. It doesn't have to be this long, elaborate spell. Touch the water to the doors and the windows, appliances, and the furniture, outside around the home and on the surrounding property. Be sure to pour some down the drains as well. Again, get those gnat nests and eggs. Visualize the water cleansing the whole area, and it is done. Lastly, we have a lemon infusion, and this sounds lovely because I love lemon in anything. I think it just smells so clean and fresh and amazing. It says, when the moon is full, completely peel 9 lemons.
Oh, God.
Your hands alone. That's a lot of lemons. Using your hands alone. No knives, I guess. As you finish peeling each one, place the peels in a bucket or a large bowl of water. Next, gently squeeze the peels into the water, expressing their oils until the sharp, clean fragrance of lemon hangs heavily in the air. Visualize the lemon's powers cleansing your home of negativity. Still visualizing, scrub the floors, doorknobs, and windows with the lemon water. Pour a little of the remaining water down each drain and repeat this ritual each full moon. Or you could do this with like any citrus, really. You could do this with
citrus of your choice.
Grapefruit, oranges, limes, whatever you want. Yeah. Or do a mixture of all of them.
My boss makes this grapefruit dish for breakfast, and the rinds we put down the garbage disposal, and it smells great.
Good, right?
It's so cleansing. It smells really good.
I love citrus. Love me some citrus. Yeah, so that was Scott Cunningham and David Harrington, the Magical Household Spells and Rituals for the Home. We will link that in our show notes, as well as all the other sources from today's episode over on our hero page. If you guys want to support the podcast, here's how you can do it on Patreon. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. That's our seedling tier, and that gets you access to our patron-only polls where you get to weigh in on what topics you would like us to talk about next. It also gets you our monthly calendar so you can see what topics we have coming up for the month, and it also gets you a welcome shout-out on the show. Our $3 Lavender Bud tier get to our show notes for each episode in an aesthetically pleasing PDF, our after hours posts, if there's any extra tidbits or behind the scenes info pertaining to any of our episodes, we'll post those along with a blog post or extra photos, and access to our specially curated Spotify playlists. We have created playlists for our WMSR episodes as well as Production Dream playlists for each song episode, and more. Our $5 Lilac tier gets you access to our private Facebook community where we host a monthly live stream. Plus, you'll get access to our Discord server where we host our monthly watch parties. And also on the Discord, you can join in on the discussion with other Magnolia Street neighbors via the various interesting channels and threads. And then here's the $8 Rose tier. This gets you access to extra audio-visual content such as a once a month full-length video episode, unlimited bonus videos, uncut footage, cutting room floor footage, bloopers, outtakes, meditations, exclusive interviews, and old home videos from the vault, or spell or ritual videos, and more. It also gets you bonus content to coincide with our song-episodes, such as full-length demo streams of our original Practical Magic inspired music, plus lyric sheets, guitar chords, and original scratch demos, or bonus video performances of our songs and more. Lastly, we have our $15 Wisteria Vine tier. Just like a twisting Wisteria Vine, there's a way for you to stay connected with us, the Stinas. In this tier, we invite you to join our private Marco Polo video messaging app. The app is totally free for both Android and iOS. Sign up with your phone number or email, and we will help you do the rest. This is a great way to chat with each other in a more intimate group setting, face-to-face via video recording. We love to show each other our pets, our gardens, or anything else you'd like to share. And just a reminder that the higher the tier you sign up under, the more rewards you get, because you get all of the rewards of the tiers below it. You can upgrade or downgrade or even cancel at any time. So to support the podcast, head to patreon.com/Magnolia Street Podcast.
Yeah, and there are additional ways to support us and our podcast that don't cost you any money. If you do listen on Spotify, please give us a star rating. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please give us a written review. We love sharing those on our Instagram. And if you're on Instagram, we would really appreciate any reposts or blurbs about our podcast. And make sure to tag us at Magnolia Street Podcast in your feed, posts, stories, and share us with your Practical Magic loving friends.
And once again, we changed our Koji bio to a link tree, and you can find that in our Instagram now. And we have some merch. And as you guys are listening to this, me and Kristina are gearing to go back up to Boston to finish our freaking album.
Oh my God.
So it's very exciting. So
Yes.
Thank you guys for all your support on that. If you guys do live in a climate like New Jersey where it's the snow still out there and you just got the winter blues, try to get a head start on your spring cleaning. Just, try to hit those areas, those like sore spot areas in your house where it's like cringe to even open the door and you just close it because you don't want to deal with it. No. Open the door and deal with it now, so then you don't have to deal with it when it's beautiful outside and you want to spend time outside and you feel guilty because your inside of your house is a shithole. That's our assignment for you guys. Go get that done. Happy spring.
Happy spring.
I can't wait. At the time you guys are listening to this, hopefully spring in New Jersey will be hopefully coming on in full effect. So,
But until next week, tune in every Friday for new episodes. I'm Kristina.
I'm Justina.
We'll see you next time.
You stink.
At the house on Magnolia Street, would you